Hello and goddamn it. Hello and greetings and welcome, brave citizens of our new world. It's me, Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terwa. This is our layer 4.0, and we are playing ourselves some more Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition with our B team.
Is that all the bees I found in Talrand?
Big Teefs. Bark, Sneck, Bark, Danger Lady, and then somebody made all the candles out of snot. Kenai has jerky,
Made
and
of people.
don't
It's a
anger
weird
the
people
lady.
at the bottom.
Remember the blood. And what the hell does that say? We successfully didn't get stabbed. That is correct. As a matter of fact,
Save it for later.
when last we left off, let's see if we can get ourselves a little bit of music here going on. Let's go with that, I think. There we go.
That sounds familiar.
Indeed. When last we left off, Silver Shaw had brought you into a massive cathedral that is being currently held by the Monster Hunters Guild of this particular city of Aldarth. He has led your group of monstrous characters up to the bell tower where the massive clock still ticks away slowly. But in this case, it's not. The clock does stand eerily still, sitting in the center of this large room with a series of candles lit and many tables and chairs, different weapons strewn about, and different reports and things like that having been placed on said tables. Sitting in the center of the room quietly was identified a character known only as Lady Maria, the leader of the Hunters Guild. With a cold and quiet composure, she dictated to you that you were currently within this city, finding yourselves under what they called a hunter's moon. A moon that would come up and remain up, freezing the town in time in an endless night until the werewolf menace had been dealt with. The werewolves, haggard and empowered by this seemingly indefinite full moon, are running ravage through the streets also being patrolled by large groups of peasants armed to the teeth with torches and other makeshift weaponry. Shortly through the conversation, though, one of these hulking creatures burst in through one of the windows, to which Lady Maria immediately stood from her chair and cut through this creature using a series of sword slashes guided, seemingly, by fire. The blood on her singular saber, which magically twinned itself into a pair of swords, streaked off and ignited midair as she, in a flurry of movements, dispatched this creature in front of you. She then stood quietly as she plucked off of the beast's corpse a singular white flower that had been wilted with time and crumpled, seemingly from use. Quietly, she then shook her two blades, which the remainder of the blood that was on them simply left from the blade's edge, igniting into a small bit of fire midair and vanishing. The two swords then magically became one, returning to their scabbard as she then quietly again returned to her seat. She then told you that you would be tasked with going to places that she was not able to move to investigate areas that she was unable to investigate. In that moment, then, she turns to the group and asks, quite simply, "Do you have any questions?"
Aren't we going to do our usual intro?
Yes, of course. Right? Through explaining what had happened last time, I had forgotten our intrepid adventures. Of course, going down our list here, we have our 6 wonderful players that we have joining us. Top of the line, we've got Estebane as our skeleton archer Talrand.
Must find daughter above all else.
That's right. The vampiric daughter of Talrand many years ago is whom he searches for within this town, seemingly overrun by more than one curses at a time.
At least a century ago now.
Yeah, at least a century at this point. Following that, of course, we've got Raynor here playing Drakiar, our draconian sorcerer.
Unleash the bees.
And of course, we've got Kaldaka Grey coming in to play Snick, our kobold cleric.
Does this mean Snick is a were-corgi?
Yes. And also we've got Quad coming in playing Alloy, our Warforged warrior.
I foresee glorious combat!
Did someone say glorious combat?
Did somebody say glorious motherfucking combat? and after that, we've got Palanthir playing Caleb, our Air Genasi rogue.
Give him a sec. I think he has his mic muted.
Oh. He can do it if he tries.
Ooh. So in the chat, it says he's running silent tonight.
Much like a thief I am, I will be running silent tonight. Okay. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I would have preferred to know that ahead of time. But that's okay. Cool. All right, and then after that, of course, we've got Emby coming in and playing Piffles, our goblin bard.
I need to find people to turn into jerky that people won't get mad about. And it's hard, because people don't want to eat people. But they're tasty.
Can't imagine why.
But they're halflings, and nobody likes them, so I should eat them, right?
That means I should eat them. That's what they said. That's you heard it here first.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's like racist. No one likes them, so I should eat them.
Mother of God.
I see no flaw in this statement.
I won't get Kuru. There's no downside.
No downside?
No, King doesn't mind, so I won't get put in King's jail. And King can save me from stuff because he big.
That is adorable. You are adorable.
And this is why
Okay.
Tolerant has ulcers.
Alright, let's try turning that up.
And this is what would keep Talrand awake at night if he actually
wait a little bit
slept.
higher on that. Cool. Alright, now I'm gonna... There we go. There we go. Fuck elves, I say, as I play an elf in Final Fantasy. Hashtag people jerky. That's right. Oh, goodness. What's Kuru?
It's a prion disease. So, if you know what mad cow is, prions are basically too small that you can't even see them with most microscopes.
Mm-hmm.
So mad cow disease and Kuru weren't actually discovered at first because people couldn't figure out what was causing people to go crazy.
From eating
Turns out it was
their
because they
own-
were eating people.
Yes.
And
that's...
it's because you eat the brains. If you don't eat the brains, you don't get the Kuru. And cows were
Huh.
getting mad cow disease and stuff like that because they were getting their dead mixed into their feed as a way for farmers to recycle things. And that was giving cows mad cow disease
Yep.
because prions.
Which is fucking gross. Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
It's super bad, and it's like whenever you see cannibals in popular media, and they got like
I
the
always
shakes
tell
and the
them.
rickets, and they're going crazy and stuff like that. It's because of this.
And whenever we see them, don't I always tell you they're gonna get Kuru? I talk about Kuru a lot because I think prion diseases are super fucking neat.
There's a lot of things that we've learned from science.
Indeed.
So Bry's like biology time with Pip. I'm like, I have a biology degree. I have a living Wikipedia page.
I only know a couple of examples that are really kind of fun. You know how they used to use makeup to make people's skin look like glossy and white?
Yeah.
What do you think they used in that?
Oh yeah, this.
Some kind of poop.
I know what this is.
It's a chocolate kind of poop, isn't it?
That was lead.
Yeah, it was lead.
Oh yeah.
In some cases, mercury.
Yep.
Well, would you like to know what they use? Would you like to know what they used to get that really rosy blush on their cheeks?
Oh God, what?
Arsenic.
Of course they did.
I was like, was it blood? But probably not, because that doesn't
would flake
keep
off.
that color, and it would flake like fucking crazy. It was
That would be
poison. It was literal fucking poison.
That would be healthier for them.
Yeah.
The stupid thing is, all they have to do is cut a beet open and rub it on their face.
I guess those are looks to die for.
Yeah.
He's been waiting to use that one.
Not only was that a good sound effect, it was so very quiet. It was just this incredibly distant. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I love it.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
So, Danger Lady. I feel like I can ask Silver here how the order has changed since I've been a part of it. But we have had a companion who was bitten by a werewolf.
Somebody redeemed in that moment. The guy screaming, "No, you broke the rules."
You broke the rules.
We already went over this yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, though.
We went over it with Silver. I didn't think we went over it with her.
And you direct this question to Lady Maria. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you say like one of our member was bitten, and we're like, what are we going to do about that? Immediately in that moment, Silver interjects, stepping forward, and says, "Right, so if I may, my lady, I've already been treating them with Hunter's blood. His state should remain stable, at least for the next, 12 hours. I can give them another vial or two so that it won't become a complication as time goes on." Silently, she continues to turn over and contemplate the white flower in her hand before simply nodding to him.
Other than that, I think we should go. Get out of here before I say something stupid.
She was said to go into that we were going to be going into the undercity stuff, the place with the
catacombs,
sewers, and the catacombs. There you go.
Also, turn your mic up just a little bit for me there, Quad. I can't hear you.
How's that?
That's better. Thank you.
Much better.
Oh, that's being super loud for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys get
I'm just balancing people out on Discord on this side as we go. But yes. Once again, though, before you guys turn to leave, she doesn't look up again from the flower that she's mournfully looking at in her hand, and she simply states again, "Do you have any questions?"
What do you think we'll expect to find? What do you expect us to find?
Shaw will move you through a series of back alleys as the catacombs are currently overrun. You will then be brought to a certain manor owned by a one Lord Waycrest. You will infiltrate this facility and you will find out exactly what is going on with regards to this curse. It is my understanding, or at the very least my belief, that this individual is responsible for a great deal of whatever this hunter's curse is supposed to be. I cannot make moves against these individuals because they possess protection via our political system. You, as monsters, and also as outsiders, can head into their spaces and mete out whatever it is that's going on. As an added incentive, you also have plausible deniability built in. So if you fail, then you are simply monsters that managed to get their way into the city during this chaos and were killed.
So it was like we did with Calendro, so we now for danger.
And with roaming pitchfork mobs in the streets hunting for us.
Yeah. This sounds like... Oof.
Understand that no love lost will be made if you were to fail in this particular mission, but if you were to succeed in figuring out at the very minimum what is going on and why, and bringing me back any evidence or bringing an end to any of these shenanigans, then the utmost effort will be made to reunite you with your child.
Which would be your preferred endgame?
I would prefer that the end were brought swiftly to all of this going on. That being said, I am not entirely sure if that is within your purview of capabilities.
Quite possibly. Last time I checked, I don't think any of us is ready to, stop time.
Indeed. It seems as though these individuals are contending with forces far beyond their understanding. Or maybe not. I'm not sure which I like less.
I'd say I'd hope they only have a genie in their pocket, kind of like we do. But,
Her gaze turns up, and examines you, Talrand, going over your cloak. Sort of like just bits and pieces of you she looks over. And then, obviously turning up to your face again. How long have you been out of the Order?
At least a century. I'm assuming I got my medallion back from Shaw.
Yes. He did return it to you. Are you wearing it, or did you put it in your pocket?
I would have put it in my pocket. I wouldn't want to draw undue attention to a century-old medallion.
No, of course. Seemingly, though, that she's managed to suss out who you used to be simply based on your clothing and the way you walk.
I am probably still wearing the cloak I died in, so I do pull out the token and present it.
She eyes it and offers to you, in response to seeing the medallion, the slightest of nods. It is a pity that members of our order fall in such a regard. Oh, thank you for the follow.
I tried to save my loved ones, and the Inquisition took exception.
The Inquisition is as a large, blunt weapon trying to discipline an unruly child. Effective, yet in many cases, too much.
Yes. I mean, we can go on and on about how to treat a child. Usually, blunt force is not the way to solve things.
Indeed. That said, I trust you to follow your training. Especially you, and she eyes Talrand again very pointedly. It will be useful to you in the coming moments. It is said that Lord Quaidcrest not only houses vampires, but also worshippers of death.
Well, if they're
necromancers,
not as polite worshippers of death per se as one might consider me and my patron, we can almost guarantee that we'll take exception to that. While I am dead, we do not care for soulless death.
She sort of tilts her head a little bit, looking at you, as in this moment you're without your mask. And she says, "What of your soul?"
Mine?
The light in your
Devastated.
eyes would indicate that you still possess some manner of free will, or at the very least that your will is present.
Yes. Touched and affected by the magics I've encountered, but my own. Held, admittedly, somewhat stitched back together as a result of the hospitality the Inquisition showed me.
She nods slowly once.
I cannot say it's impossible that control could be exerted over me, but never once has it been implied, or have others seen it happen to people in a similar state as mine. It is considered a gift within our community that once we have passed on, that we're given another lot, another chance to achieve things and continue to live and strive.
Strange that this gift may seem to some.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a harsh awakening,
One can only imagine.
but here I am, so close to seeing my child again.
She turns the flower over slowly in her hand as her gaze drifts down to it. Quietly, she speaks almost to herself. She says, "Were it so easy." After a quiet moment, she then turns her head back up to you. "Is there anything else?"
No. Talrand does. Talrand would try to recall the formal hunter salute acknowledgement.
Yeah, you do remember that the salute that was typical to the Monster Hunters Guild was a sort of like you like turn your fist in such a way and place it against your chest.
And a bow to the lady.
Again, she extends to you a very slight nod of her head before turning her attention downward again.
Unless if you have something to say, my friends, I feel, Silver, if you'd be so kind to lead us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks at everybody else. Does anybody else have any questions?
So like, Drakiar just like gives the motion that he does not wish to speak right now. He may
Just a
have
silent nod from Alloy, or a silent head shake thing.
Yeah. You got it.
I may have diplomacy trained, but I just do not want to say the wrong fucking thing.
That's fair.
Talrand is lucky. He has a modicum of rapport with this lady.
You've managed in these moments to survive, yes. And it's more than a little impressive. Anyways, if nobody else speaks up, Shaw then turns to the rest of the party and like motions for you to follow him as he leaves. Excuse me.
That's we follow Shaw.
And thus, you guys head on out. Any other
After
questions?
we're out of the room with them, with the danger lady, I am putting my disguise back up.
He leads you
Same.
down the stairs, back down the wooden stairs of the tower into the cathedral proper. Walking slowly into the center of the cathedral, he then turns to the party and puts up his hood and motions for you all to do the same and occlude yourselves and whatnot.
Oh, that was certainly a barrel of laughs.
I think it went rather well.
He chuckles and tilts his head kind of side to side, and he goes, "Hey, well, you didn't end up on the end of a sword or anything, so I imagine that went about as well as one can expect."
I remember the old stories of the Grandmaster when I was around.
Indeed.
I did not sense any humor in that conversation.
No, there wasn't any.
That was a fun, humorous conversation.
Humor not detected.
Yes, I know. That's
That's the
Sarcasm is a foreign language to you, isn't it?
Don't worry about sarcasm or things like that. They go right over his head.
They will not go over my head. I would catch it.
Are you sure about that?
Alloy becomes the group's Drax in a short order.
As long as he's like actual Drax and only takes exception to metaphors at the funny times and not the unfunny times.
Indeed. Now, where was...
Where, da da da.
Na 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 na. Do. Anyhow, but yeah, so he turns to you guys and motions for you to start putting on your disguises and whatnot, and he goes, "Right, so this next bit is going to be a little difficult. We're gonna need to move you through some alleys and streets in order to get you to the manor proper. It is within the city, and it is up on top of some of the other buildings.
Mm-hmm.
The security there, I'm not going to say is light, but it is curiously absent."
Well, that's immediately suspicious.
Of course, it is sort of a fact of life for many of the guards in the city to simply avoid Waycrest Manor and make their way wherever it is they're trying to go. So, here we are. Do we have any other things to go on about? I'm not exactly sure how long you're going to be gone, or even if you'll survive at that.
Blood potions for Snack.
Right. And he goes into his coat and reveals sort of a bandolier of 4 of these injectors, each containing a swirling red fluid. He unclips the bandolier from himself and he hands it over to you, Talrand, and says, "Each of these, every 24 hours, will keep him stable. Once the curse is over, if the curse is over, we'll be able to deal with him in a slightly more permanent manner. Not killing him, mind you, of course. More of a cure situation. We can talk about that later."
Okay. Piffle's eyes narrowed when she said permanent and then widened again once again.
Thank you for clarifying. We have had other people who felt that the first answer was the proper way.
Indeed. As many would, I'm sure. But I've been running this business long enough to know that that's not always the answer. And he taps his the orb of silver that takes up his eye socket.
I swear, this guy's like Mad Eye Moody.
Let's see. You know what? That's a good shot. Yeah. So, moving back into the hello. I forgot that was there. Shit.
Scroll up and look at the moon.
I do not approve of you. The moon. God damn
Moon
it.
does not approve.
The moon does
Guys,
not
why
approve
is
of
the
you.
moon crying?
Guys, why is the moon upset? God damn it.
Because Snack has the magic potion to stop him from changing under its light. That's why it's
Look at these-
upset.
Clear these
The moon
fucking
doesn't
drawings.
approve of your cure shenanigans.
That or we're in Majora's Mask and it's coming to crush us all.
Good lord.
Well, we're in Soul Eater, and the moon is, actually a jail for a demon god.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
really need to watch the rest of Soul Eater.
There we go. We'll bring Silver Shaw into here so you guys can have a better look at him.
of a bitch.
There we go. I'll scooch him over there. So once again, Silver Shaw brings you sort of into this under the bridge area outside of the cathedral as everybody's getting their things together, passing the bandolier of liquid over to Talrand. And he goes, right, so, like she said, there might be vampires and or necromancers in this estate. Officially, and he puts his hands up, officially, we don't know anything about that. It's all bureaucracy and hierarchy and politics and a load of bullshit I don't like living in. So, this is now your job. You need to go in, find out more information, get any evidence that you can, something that we can use to stick or bring a stop to all of this.
Okay.
Do we have an
Yes.
idea of how many people are in there?
Quietly, he shakes his head no, and says, like, I really wish I had more to tell you.
Just to double check with you to make sure I'm not I've not lost it since my time. What parts of my hunter training in particular was she implying?
Oh, necromancy, vampires.
Okay.
Like, what, and he sort of turns to the group as a whole and goes, what do you know about vampires?
What knowledge check is that?
That
They drink
would
blood.
be- that could be either knowledge history, even knowledge arcanum, depending.
Same for me, so I'll just roll Arcana.
What
Yeah.
would you like me to roll, Doc?
Roll your survivability skill for me. Like your
They have a
survival-
liking
Oh,
to
God.
daggers.
survival and or
Well,
nature.
damn.
Um,
For once, my studies have not failed me.
So yeah, the both of you get a little bit of different answers. Specifically, like they come with information from different things. Firstly, you, Drakir, you know that through your knowledge of magic and whatnot, and the studies that you've made regarding necromancy, specifically surrounding vampires, you know that while they are undead, they are not created through necromancy. They're created through necromantic blood rituals. So it's a bit more of like it's less conjuration and necromancy directly, more transmutation magic. Like there's a lot of other spells and things that have been mixed together to create vampires. They're extraordinarily potent in regards to the magic that they can naturally wield and the magic that enforces their body. They can be extremely, extremely dangerous. They possess like resistances to physical and non-magical attacks, as well as necromancy. So necrotic damage does less to them as their bodies are bolstered by it. You, Esteban, Talrand figures out more through his training that these things have weaknesses, very much like any other vampire that you might know, that if you see them in a state of rest, or if they are currently inactive or they're being held down, a wooden stake through their heart will cause them to die. Like it will obliterate them. Sunlight is also heavily damaging to them. They must require some form of consent before entering a building. If they are in running water, so if they walk over running water, they find themselves paralyzed. If they touch running water, it's like acid to them. Effectively, it burns them.
With that roll of a 22, what are the chances I manage to interview a vampire back in Autometh?
Oh, not at all. Like the vampires are very reclusive. And in your studies of magic, there was like footnotes and some of the information that discussed things around necromancy. And in the parts that talk about necromancy, while it's like, yeah, this is a form of death magic that is largely accepted by the kingdom, as long as it's used responsibly and not without consent, blah blah blah. There is a footnote in there talking about how vampires are related but not caused by necromancy directly. A lot of the other information regarding vampires was either heavily redacted or fully removed from any of the literature within the kingdom.
Oh, there's
What
some
do you know
secret
about
pitches.
vampires? Soup kitchen.
Soup
Huh?
kitchen.
Them people are soup.
Indeed.
me, they're
Another
jerks.
thing that you would know, Talrand, is that they also possess like not only the ability to fight you hand to hand, like without weapons. They are still extremely dangerous with bites and claws. They do also charm people. Like if they lay their eyes on you, they can attempt to magically charm people, sort of at will, and it sucks. And if one of them strikes, or if you strike one down, it doesn't kill them. Like fighting them basically to death, and using weapons and magic and whatnot to destroy them doesn't kill them. It causes them to turn into a cloud of vapor, which then immediately goes to wherever their coffin or their bed or their regeneration chamber is. The worst thing you can do to a vampire, according to your training, is to find their coffin and to either destroy it or make ready next to it.
How do they deal with coffins and holy things?
How do you mean? Like if you place a holy object within the coffin?
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything. At least not that you remember. A lot of churches talked a lot about how you could like bless a vampire's coffin and then that would render it inert and the vampire could no longer regenerate in it. But honestly, that was a lot of hearsay and it was never confirmed. Though it was also never denied. Like it was never found to be non-functional.
You need to put the crucifix next to the coffin, not into the coffin. It has a very limited range on it.
It has to
can't
be
be
on the
holding it.
floor.
Only works twice.
You can't be holding it, and it has to be on the ground.
It has to be on the ground. You got to put the crucifix on the ground.
Sorry, now I just have the image of someone filling a vampire's coffin with holy water.
Basically,
Time for your bath.
I'm gonna
Now-
kill you and then be ready for a bath, you asshole. I'll just go to. Ah!
now there are spells, Drakir, that you know of that create daylight. No spells that you currently possess, but there is magic that does not just create light, but specifically creates sunlight. Inversely, Talrand, you know that there are certain objects called sun rods, which when cracked, basically emit sunlight.
I ask him if he happens to have any sun rods that might be available.
Quietly, he shakes his head no.
Beans.
And he says, I don't know why, but I was sort of hoping that you might have something like that.
We come from a kingdom that is home to undead.
And I see in the dark.
Well, of course. I mean, I don't know why you would have them, but I sort of hope that you might.
I do possess a torch.
That won't work.
I mean, it'll work very slowly over time.
Much like burning regular things does.
Yeah, like they're not immune to being lit on fire.
Would that work?
Is that a spell?
That's a spell.
Daylight. Yeah, a 60-foot radius sphere of light spread out from the point you choose within range. The sphere is a bright light and sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet. You choose a point in an object you are, or a point on an object you are holding, or one that isn't being worn or carried. The light shines from the object and moves with it, completely covering the affected object with an opaque object, such as a bowl or helm blocks the light. If any of the spell's area overlaps with an area of darkness created by a spell of 3rd level or lower, the spell created by darkness is dispelled. Now, it does not say specifically in this spell that it is sunlight specifically, but I'm willing to say yeah.
The name is fucking Daylight.
Yeah.
Sneck needs to take a nap.
I thought we did already.
He needs to put ready new spells.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like he has to change. He did not prep Daylight for the situation because he wasn't expecting vampires.
Oh no!
No, I did not.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have to prep your spells ahead of time.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Snack, we need a nap. If we're going to do that.
Ugh.
Yeah, there is also another 6th level evocation spell called Sunbeam, which actively does damage to people that aren't like specifically harmed by sunlight, but it does say particularly that this light is sunlight. In Sunbeam, it just also does radiant damage to people that it hits.
There's also
There's
a level
also
5 cleric spell, Dawn.
Yes, I have that for
The
my
light
wizard.
of dawn shines down on the location you specify.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a case of these kind of spells are cleric and paladin spells.
Yeah, Dawn, Sunbeam, Sunburst. Creating a campaign.
It's the sun, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it says oddly enough the daylight spell is not considered sunlight. I'm gonna say that for the purposes of this, like it is kind of, it's like pseudo sunlight. It will work to half effect.
Does it say
And
what
what-
kind of damage it does? Like,
Well, the spell daylight just creates light. But mechanically it is not
Oh.
identified specifically as sunlight. Whereas spells like Dawn, Sunbeam, and Sunburst are specifically mechanically identified as sunlight when they
because
give off their things.
they do damage.
Well, yeah. But like
Yeah.
vampires take damage from being in the sunlight, except when except the times when you do these things. It's like, yeah, I do like radiant damage to them. It's like, yes, but it's sunlight, so they take extra damage, I guess. Like it doesn't specify a great deal about that kind of stuff. There are just some creatures which are weak to sunlight and some that are not.
I have other spells that do radiant damage.
I imagine you do.
I have a freaking cantrip.
Is my weapon
radiant
adequate
damage.
to fight vampires as he's holding out his halberd?
Actually, wait, yeah, you wanted to do a thing. He goes, right, well, I could bring us back to the safe house for a short rest and see if I can't maybe get you some additional things. Yes? Like maybe a big sword or something of the nature?
I got a lot of daggers, and I've got heat metal.
Will it help
and
me defeat vampires?
fun stuff.
He sort of shrugs. And he's just like, not necessarily more than your halberd. Just depends.
Quick question.
No.
On my-
on a hit,
Um,
radiant damage. Yeah, that's guiding bolt. So, I mean, it's a radiant damage spell that you can cast when you cast it, but it's not identified specifically as sunlight.
I know. I'm mostly just screwing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
The end of my focus staff.
Mm.
How pointy is it?
The end of your focus staff.
Yeah, the end that goes again, touches the ground.
I mean, it's not pointy enough to be easily driven within someone. It's not a spear. It doesn't do piercing damage. It's a bludgeoning weapon.
If we get a knife, you can turn it into a shiv.
I was gonna say, but it would then damage your staff. If you were, I mean, you could eat just as easily. Like if you find pieces of wood, you can whittle them down into wooden stakes. And there's more than enough like fucking ruined garbage in the alleyways as you've seen, like abandoned furniture.
Perfect good boxes right there.
I can just throw a bunch of daggers in those bitches and then cast heat metal on them.
Yeah, that won't kill him permanently.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like, like sort of like turns his head side to side, like
Well, if you get the dagger deep enough, you cook them from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Does my
Yeah,
survival,
but then they just
survival
reform
set
in their
tell me that
coffin.
it has to be a wooden
Not if you
wooden
take their legs so
stake?
they can't get in their coffin.
No,
yes.
they turn into smoke and then just.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you destroy them without using either like sunlight or a stake to the heart, they just turn into mist and they go back to their coffin.
What about
Ooh,
cutting their
wow.
head off and shoving holy wafers in their mouth? That's still a thing?
No.
What about burning their coffin? Are they made of metal? Can I heat them up?
If the coffin's made of metal.
Well, things on coffins are typically made of metal, and then if I set those on fire, they'll fire the rest of the coffin.
Bim fucking maybe on that one, Chief.
It sounds like we should go back to the safe house so we can prepare. So if you'd be so kind.
It's a good
Silver Show.
idea.
And he nods and goes, sure. I can give you a short stay at that place and we can move from there. Once again, he leads you out into the streets, sort of quickly and quietly moving you along in between the alleyways and streets of the crowds of peasants moving through, carrying torches and makeshift weapons. In doing so, as he's moving you guys along, he mostly keeps you away from the crowds, save for just before, again, the mouth of the safe house that he's going to bring you into. You do get a little close to a mob of peasants. Each of you, roll me either stealth or performance. Whichever you would like.
I rolled it.
Either the +0 that I have disadvantage with, or the -2.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jeebus. Aller's just gonna
Watch
bonk
me
into something
dance.
and make the windows noise.
Holy shit! You rolled well!
Okay. Everybody passes. It's all good.
Talron trips in the middle of the street, and, and everyone looks when he just goes, and
Yeah.
stands up and like half swearing, and then goes.
One of the peasants, as you guys are moving along next to their mob, does look over at Talron, but then looks away. Doesn't seem to make any notice or say or do anything.
He's looking a bit skinny, but I mean, I haven't eaten in hours either.
Yeah. Okay.
So we get back in.
Yeah, you guys make your way back. And things are looking pretty fucking good. You make your way.
Are they?
I mean,
no,
but
as we go in, Talron it does, kind of nod to Shaw, furniture debris, so we can whittle some steaks.
Yeah, he as you guys get within the safe house itself, he motions over to some of the damaged furniture that's in one of the rooms and a few like open, shattered crates that are empty. He motions to those.
Excellent. Talron
Awesome.
grabs his dagger and starts carving.
Let's have ourselves
Drakyar
a quick.
Drakyar lends a hand whittling with his claws.
Does this mean Snack can take time to prepare different spells? Is that how long we're going to be here?
How long do you need to do that?
He needs 8
That's
hours.
a full rest. That's an 8 hours, so I'm a cleric.
Oh my god. Okay, cool.
The long rest.
Can my Song of Rest speed that up? Hang on. No,
Nope.
I
Actually,
think it
yeah,
only affects hit die.
No, it's just the amount of hit die you get back. He
Yeah.
he does ask you guys how long you're going to be resting here, and if you do say that you're going to need a longer rest, he doesn't look happy about it, but he goes okay, and he says he'll return within that amount of time, and says to make sure that you guys are ready to go as soon as he returns.
Okay. Should we? Do you think
Did
we could
Roll.
put the shit yourself to death poison onto the steak?
they'll
I don't-
disperse into dust when we stab them through their hearts,
And you would know that they are immune to this.
Damn it.
and they're
Yeah, it's
undead. Like
Just
me,
want to
they're
use it on someone.
If we're going to, the only thing we could really poison them with is holy water.
except we noted that that probably doesn't work.
Yeah,
That was an earlier discussion,
I suppose.
Rainer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ugh.
So yes, no, they are not affected by poison.
Damn.
Yeah.
So it could work if we run into necromancers.
Who?
So Drakiar and Talrand are whittling away, making wooden stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Allied probably be helping with that as well.
Yeah,
I'll probably
Howard
okay.
finishes whittling his steak and goes, "It doesn't really look edible, but I think it's about medium rare."
Yeah, roll me. That's very funny. Roll me a roll me survival.
Are we all? If everybody's carving,
I'm just going to say me helping out with the stakes is the help action,
Okay, if you want to go for it, absolutely.
which would
I'll
give
try survival. I am not good with wisdom. Let's see here.
the help
Nope.
action would give Talrand advantage.
Sticks are full of splinters.
Okay. Cool.
Splinters are going into our.
14.
Piffles manages to make one steak.
Fine.
You did it. Everybody else, as you all got over 12, I believe, yes?
Yes.
You guys all make yourselves, I'm going to say 4 steaks apiece. You can add those to your inventory.
I am making none. I am doing other things.
Do I only get the one that I made?
Yes.
Okay.
You get 1.
Okay. Good thing I have 21 daggers you bitches loaded me up with.
That's because Snack can't carry things.
So with me doing the A, do I get 4 daggers, or is that just 4 daggers between me and Talrand?
Because you were helping me, so
Yeah, it's between the two of you at that point.
there are 4 steaks in my inventory. How long was this the full 8-hour carving, or how long was that carving for?
That would have been for the 8 hours, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
No, Caleb, it
Oh.
wouldn't, because it has to be made out of wood, and your
I have
rapier
a
is
jar
not.
of armor dust
Yeah.
in my inventory, and I don't remember what it's for. Oh,
They need
also
to
I have
be
flask.
they need to be pierced through the heart with a weapon that is made of wood. Commonly, stakes are used. The rapier is a piercing weapon or slashing, depending on how you use it, but it is made of metal.
Hmm.
Quick
Vampires
question.
are very picky in terms of how you kill them.
Drakir succeeds in making no good steaks.
Just random question, Doc.
Oh, sorry, that was a random roll. I just wanted to see what I would have gotten.
I wasn't actually rolling. I didn't.
Crossbow
Sorry, I
bolt.
really should have said that at first. I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what the jar of armor dust I have on me is for? And
Kelly?
also, I got a flask of acid.
Palantir got a 9, so
Palantir got a 9. So, Caleb, as you're like sort of they're like every piece of wood that you get your hands on that you whittle into a stake shape seems it's too rotted or weak or old, and it doesn't look as though if you were to try to stab somebody with it that it wouldn't immediately blunt and splinter into smaller pieces. So like it seems that you got handed a bunch of shitty wood, or at least that's what you'll tell yourself as you continue to go over it and can't quite make sense of anything that's here.
I was going to ask, crossbow bolts, while they are metal tipped, the rest of them is typically wood. Does that count for it or no?
No, because they are tipped with metal.
Okay, so
And
the
if you were to
piercing
take
component
the-
itself is what has
Yeah.
to be wood.
If you had a wooden bolt, specifically wooden bolts that are just, shafts of wood that are pointed, you could try to make use of those. But if you actually want to shoot and critically hit them in the heart with a wooden bolt, it's a vampire. Good fucking luck with that. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, it's possible.
I mean, with my aim with the longbow, I might be able to pull it off.
I mean, you know what? Roll me survival check. Yeah,
Whoa.
you think like maybe, like on a good day, like you could
I
do
have
that. Like you're like flat foot in a field, like a wooden shaft, like a wooden arrow with my bow. And if you didn't see me coming, yeah, maybe. Like it's.
Okay, Snack is ready.
Wow.
Like, you've never fought a vampire before, but you know that it was always heavily discouraged because it's always like, if you are not a very experienced hunter, you know stories of people that have tried to go up against vampires and got absolutely fucking bodied by them. They are so dangerous that if anybody fights those things, they would have to do so with a lot of extra traps and extra stuff, like, brought up in advance. In your life, you do remember engaging in said things, but it was with a lot of assistance mechanically. Like, you had a lot of traps set and a lot of other stuff, and you were using the vampire's hubris against them and drawing them into a situation where they would ultimately be overcome by the things that you'd set. It's also vague and distant, relatively, those memories in what you remember.
I was about to say, I also seem to remember being a better archer than I am now. I
Yeah,
feel
like-
like a lot has been lost since
Yeah.
that.
It's like there was obviously a long period of acclimation that came with being raised as an undead, and while you are in many ways stronger than you were before, a lot of the little motions, the tiny things that you sort of took for granted as a living person are now sort of not necessarily lost to you, but like it's hard to regain that level of dexterity that you once possessed.
I also have this real, weird tick, tick where I'm trying to brace for where my breath is going to be. But I don't have.
Yeah. It's when it's like that whole, like, one of the biggest things that you were taught your whole life in archery was to, like, breathing when you're doing stuff, to, like, either exhale on certain shots or to hold your breath on other shots, and you don't breathe anymore, and it trips you up sometimes.
Well, it's like, okay, I'll be readying, I'll be anticipating my movements with it. They're not coming. It's supposed to be sliding right into aim right now, and it's not happening.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah. So it's like a lot of that very fine motor function hasn't necessarily been lost, but it's like reacclimating and discovering your new motor functions now with this body is, even after like a century, has been difficult. Like there's always going to be a part of you that sort of has to relearn all this stuff from scratch.
Something. I took a nap for a century. I lost some of my skills.
Yeah, a lot of those skills kind of went out the window.
Well, at least you don't have to go to the bathroom in the middle of a hunt anymore.
I mean, it took a long time even for you to figure out how to talk again without a mouth or lungs or lips or tongue. Like, it was an experience for sure. And while most of your memories are intact, a great deal of them, especially with regards to your like natural sort of deftness with a bow, was lost. And a lot of the time that you've spent now and in this form has been relearning a lot of the skills that you possessed when you were living.
I'm sorry, I just have the image of Benjamin Hyde trying to tutor Talrand in how to talk.
There was a time when he did that.
Okay,
That,
so
like,
you try to do it this way.
Yeah, you're just
No, not that.
the gross teeth chompy sounds, and he's like, no, that's not. And it's like you definitely get the impression, if we can do like a quick little history thing here, you definitely get the impression that Benjamin has definitely schooled many undead in how to acclimate themselves to their new existence. That the king himself does not take time to do this with people that are brought into the kingdom either already undead or who are repaired or raised into that service. They really do kind of like sit down with Ben, and he goes over this sort of, talk through of like, here's how you breathe, even though you don't need to breathe anymore. Like, here's how you sort of satisfy that instinct that you would need to do so you don't panic on a regular basis. Here's how you
need to
rest.
breathe in order to make sound.
Yeah, it's like, here's how you rest. And speaking doesn't come from lungs anymore. Like, a part of your condition in being undead is that, like, the magic that animates you and that is the glowing light in your eyes is also the magic that creates orating sounds from your mouth. So there's lots of things to sort of discover, and there's a lot of nuance involved there. So yeah, it's there was like a big learning curve at first, and like now a lot of your greater masterful skills at being a monster hunter are things that you've got to still kind of overcome over time.
Gotta work my way back to that point where I can, take vampires out at a distance with, just wooden shafted arrows.
Yeah, like it's all still in there. All right. So yeah, you guys managed to sort of cobble together some of these stakes, and you've got your hands on some of these things. They're good quality. They're sturdy enough that you think if you definitely stabbed them, that it would kill a vampire. Once more, though, again, like the vampire does need to be either incapacitated in some way or sleeping or prone in some fashion or another, in order to like reliably get that strike against their heart. But yeah.
Stakes for everyone, though. Make sure they're available at hand, folks. You never know when a vampire will trip right in front of you and you can just stab him.
Or I can just turn invisible and sneak up on them and stab them.
That is also an option.
You sovereign glue a vampire to an unmovable rod and activate it.
There we go.
That vampire's kind of stuck there at that point.
I hope there's not so many torches in the building they're going to.
My favorite one is watching someone use an unmovable rod like Thor's hammer. Just place it on the thing you've disabled and be like, and you're stuck there now.
Yep.
Yeah, the immovable rods obviously have like an amount of weight that they can hold before they deactivate.
But it's pretty high.
But it's fucking high though. So like, if you like, I've seen people use immovable rods to like bar doors. Where they'll close a door and then click an immovable rod in place on the other side of it, and the people on the other side can't open the door now because it requires more force to open it than they possess in pushing against the barrier.
What
Door
the all manner of things you can do with an immovable rod. It's amazing.
Stick it against the door like
Door's locked.
If you have two of them, you have a ladder to anywhere.
Yep. And that's what they're for, typically. Immovable rods, for the people that don't know, are rods that have a little button on the side of them. And they're basically the size of a ladder rung. So you hold one in the air, and you click the button, and the rod becomes immovable in space. It immediately halts in relativity with the rest of the world around it. Which, if you had two of them, then you hold one up, click it, and it holds in place, pull yourself up. put up the next rod, click it so it holds in place, and then you push the button again on the first rod, which then makes it movable. And then you bring it up, and you do that to climb pretty much vertically or horizontally in whatever direction you can, so long as you possess the strength to do so, and don't goof it up.
Are easier to do with 3 immovable rods.
Yeah.
You know the best one though? Oh look, there's a doorway. It's a standard, like 8 foot tall, 3-4 foot wide doorway. Oh look, there's like a troll or something big that can fit through the doorway, but it will fill the doorway trying to get to us. Okay, I'm gonna put an immovable rod in the air, roughly in the middle of the doorway.
Yeah, it's like a
We can
in
still
around
stab
the
it and
center.
shoot it with things, but it can't get past the rod to get to us.
Yeah, not without like
Smashing the
Breaking the
doorway.
wall,
not
or
without
moving
like
the rod.
smashing it or figuring out how to move it with its own strength. Like large-sized creatures would definitely run into some difficulty in using those rods because they would weigh a lot, and those rods do have like a maximum weight.
It's enough to act as a temporary barrier while you shoot the troll. And I more means boots, like if it's like the direct middle, like you'd have to get down on your belly to try and get under it because you're too big.
To get prone, in which case then people get attacks against you. They get advantage.
Yeah,
against attacks
exactly.
against you.
It's like, okay, thank you. You go right ahead and crawl underneath the rod while we stab you and shoot you.
That's
with
it.
things.
You either present your head an easy stabbing
Yeah.
location, or you present your nethers an easy stabbing location.
Well, that being said,
Nobody wants either.
falling prone is a free action, or at the very least, it's like something you can do with your free action. Standing up from prone normally takes up half your movement. So if like you did that and there was enough room for him to scuttle underneath it, it's entirely possible the troll could like fall prone, scuttle underneath, and stand up without like
That's weirdness.
ruining their without losing their whole turn.
You can hit someone with a movable rod.
Weird.
You can fire a movable rod from a crossbow so that it presses the button on impact.
And does essentially no damage because it freezes on the moment of impact without
It just
exerting any
click.
actual force on the target.
If you're going to launch something out of a crossbow and you want it to do damage, you use Darren's Instant Fortress. So you can fire a 30-foot. So you can fire a 30-foot tall magical stone tower at something that maintains the speed and momentum of the crossbow bolt.
Honestly, if you got those kinds of resources, though, that's a waste of a fortress. Like,
No. If you say the command word, unless it is completely destroyed and it has crazy amounts of durability, unless it is completely destroyed, when you say the command word, it will return to its initial shape and repair itself.
What?
Huh.
Yeah, I
Like I
had
said,
a
if you
character
have
that had
that
2
kind
these
of
things.
magic, like,
What?
like if you have that kind of magic, like, yeah, like burst through the wall instead, like, yeah, like it's if you have that kind of magic already, you have those level of spells at your hand, like it's a waste of a tower if you're using it in that regard and not using something like 4 fireballs or some bullshit like that.
I was a fighter. My DM gave me one after I told him
I
not
was
to.
about to say it's a magic item. It falls under the category of like the magic super glue. It's an item you don't give to players because they'll do stupid things with it that you'll go, I can see why you did that. I can understand how incredibly overpowered that is. I don't want you to do that. You can get away with this once.
Yeah.
Never again.
Like
Yeah.
firing it into the mouth of the Tarask and then saying the command word.
Now, what you
If I had that
could do,
magic super glue, Grumbus would be a butterfly.
if somebody was chasing you, let's say, and you were in a carriage and they were in a carriage behind you, using one of those immovable rods, admittedly they are very expensive, but setting one mid-air that would then fly back and hit the enemy carriage and destroy their vehicle is something that you could do.
That would be
That's-
mean.
That's perhaps the big thing about putting in front of like the troll.
Mm-hmm.
Is the troll's going to be charging through the doorway, and if it's just the size of a Ratterlung, that's not Ladderrung, that's not very big.
Yeah.
Gut punching himself with an immovable rod.
That
Pretty-
or you set the immovable rod in place so that the driver impacts face first into it.
You get to places higher than the horses, because why would you hurt the horses?
Or you could always set it in a way that the horse's
Anyways,
reins
actually,
get caught in it and tears off and they're free.
a
Yeah, we should keep going.
question for what we were doing. Alloy and Silver were talking about weapons earlier. Did that get resolved?
Well, I mean, he said that he could offer Alloy like a big sword or something like that, but it would just be a great sword. Like he could offer him other kinds of mundane weaponry, but they don't have anything in specific that would be of particular use against the undead.
Right. Okay.
Note to self: once I get back, see if I can look into enchanting Alloy's magic weapon.
Indeed.
Alloy's weapon.
You
Enchantment?
enchantment. Actually, in that, Esteban and Quad, roll me insight. So the both of you, at exactly the same time, with exactly the same amount of acuity, come to the realization that the fact that there is no weaponry specifically within the city of Alderth that deals with the undead might not be an accident.
Well, Alloy, that's suspicious as fuck.
Yeah, it's just like they don't have any weapons for fighting vampires. Like sun rods do give off sunlight, and they are for adventurers, and they're not terribly expensive. They're not cheap, mind you, but like someone, maybe somewhere, would have something like that, right? Nope.
With the amount of time that this has been happening, perhaps they might have used up all of their supplies.
I would posit that as unlikely because, like right now, like it's the hunters' city, so their major armories, their major repositories of equipment will be here, and they're not fighting entities that they'd be expending them on.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, if I had an alchemy lab, I could probably make some.
Anyway,
So they're
Which
not
one?
terribly hard to make if you know anything about magic.
unfortunately, so it's suspicious that there's none of that in the city.
Yeah, it does strike
Perhaps
you as a
something
bit
to ask
strange.
Silver when he gets back.
Though, I mean, we probably have a pretty easy answer. The vampires did it. Hey guys, hey King, yes, do you have anything that's a kryptonite? Yes, what is it? Unobtainium. Is there any in the city? No. Why would that be here?
It's is there anything that can kill you? Yeah, it's funny you should ask because it's like just disintegrates that person.
I made my throne out of it. Why?
It's funny you should mention that.
No, I obliterated every single piece of it within the city. Why?
Take a guess.
But yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to get up to while you're here fashioning yourself some tasty weapons and resting?
I do
'Cause
not
know that-
recommend eating weapons. They do not provide any nutritional value.
Oh,
The
yeah.
weapons do not provide adequate nourishment.
Tauren goes over to Piffles,
Ah,
starts unwrapping the granola bars from his bag, and says, "Okay, Piffles, which one do you want?"
which one got more bugs?
Looking over them because he's like displaying them. I think this one has the most mixture of crunchy and wiggly bugs, and this one's got mostly crunchy over here. I think this one has more overall. Which one do you want?
I think I want squigglies. Thanks.
Okay,
It's
there
like
you go.
that scene from Ghostbusters when Venkman takes out the candy bar to Egon and he's just like, you've earned it. Like gives it to him. I'm gonna take back some of the things I said about you.
Much on my bug no.
So yeah,
Piffles is going
you
to
hand
shit a
over
brick
up
later.
one of the bricks of granola that you got from Goober and Gobble's survival equipment shop. Handmade goblin granola filled with bugs and other things that would, if you are not a goblin, absolutely make you sick.
Or kobold. Snack can eat it.
I mean,
Snack has eaten my granola. So did
Like-
that orc lady.
What in it would make them sick? Because bugs wouldn't necessarily make people sick.
No, they
but they're
actually
just
eat bugs in
gross,
real life.
largely.
Oh,
like-
you mean like
Crickets are delicious.
repulsively ill rather
Yes.
than
not
uh,
physically ill.
physically
No,
ill.
it does not. It would not poison you or make you take debuffs. It's just gross.
I've seen pictures of the food standards back in the day. Goblin granola sounds like it'd be a step above the rest.
Goblin granola. I have to remember that until tell Goober and Gobble when you get back. I'm sure they'd love the free marketing.
G&G GG.
G&G
Great for your lunch and dinner needs.
G&G G. So yeah, as the 8 hours pass, as per usual, I mean, rather so or unso, you notice that the time simply does not pass. That you do feel rested and you are able to experience the time passing, but it is still night, the sun does not rise, and the moon continues to shine full and heavy above you.
About how much time do we have left before we need to, stim Snack again?
About 4 hours, I
Um,
think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, once Shaw comes back, you have about 4 hours before he needs to be hit again.
Okay, so we'll probably head out and then stim him before trying to enter the building, just to...
Not the worst idea. So yeah, you guys get yourselves on out, and once again he motions for you to cover yourselves, and then head into the streets with him. Following him again out into the streets, once again, largely he is able to maintain that you guys aren't necessarily too close to any of these mobs of peasants that are still moving through the streets. You are seeing that they are not only lesser in number, you see maybe about 20-25% less. So 1 in every 4 of these peasants is now eerily missing. But you notice that the ones that do remain are nursing wounds. Some of them have a lot of bandages on, and all of them look terribly haggard. That's right, Spoots. Swamp steaks. Drink in that bun.
I completely forgot about those.
Right? Remember swamp steaks?
Back in the day.
So awful. Steadily he makes way with you guys through the streets. Eventually, though, once again, you do find yourselves getting a little eerily close to a group that he wasn't necessarily able to avoid. Everybody, if you could make either a stealth or a performance check for me.
Let's do
I don't know what it is with me in stealth today. I have only rolled 2s on it.
I rolled
Sweet.
exactly 2 on the
How did
die.
I that low on performance? I rolled a 2, guys.
Yes, you
'cause,
did.
Oh, did Alloy?
How
So did Alloy. Alloy rolled a 2 and got 0 in
we
the
rolled
end.
shit this time. Last time we rolled good.
50% of the party rolled 2 on that roll.
Yeah, so
If we ever want to put roll
Wasn't
20
the
in
DC
dice
like
table-
5?
the DC was indeed very low, because these guys are not only lesser in number at this juncture, but they're also considerably more tired and more haggard from their continued conflict with the monsters and whatnot that currently stalk the night. That said, Alloy full stop bumps into one of these guys. As you guys are walking along, trying to be, inconspicuous, Alloy is looking up at the full moon, maybe kind of looking over the buildings and keeping an eye out for werewolves leaping from rooftop to rooftop, and just walks straight into one of these guys. Alloy, I will allow you to make another performance roll as this guy looks up at you and goes, "Oi, which way you walking, you?"
Can I roll intimidate?
Yes. I will allow you to do that, please.
Does he get advantage because of his size?
Can I take the assist action?
Fuck.
You are in my way.
Yeah, so you bump into this guy. He looks up and goes, "Oi, watch it!" And you say, "You are in my way."
And he goes, "Oh, you're very tall."
Yeah, and he looking
Immediately
kind of
follow
like
himself.
shakes his head and looks at you again and goes, "Right, you know what? It was probably my fault. Sorry about that." And he just kind of like humbles and grumbles to himself and moves to one side. Sorry, my lord, you're not watching where I'm going, and it's been a very long hunter's night. I'm very sorry. And he just kind of grumbles and sort of waddles out of the way. You, looking back at the party, see, you see, the Shaw kind of like giving you a cold, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" stare, and then like he motions with his head for you to follow, and you guys continue on your way. Oh god,
That was a nat 20 moment.
that's fantastic. So he brings you through the streets, sort of one after the other, turning and twisting along until it comes at last to what is awkwardly a large pair of gates that seems to be on top of other structures. So there are like a series of buildings and whatnot, and as the city is so densely packed, like there's a lot of buildings on top of buildings. But this is even more so, that like elevated above a lot of the other structures is like the main grounds of this manor, and he brings you to the front gates, which again are fully ajar. They're completely open. There's nothing stopping you from just waltzing right in. There are no posted guards, and no other individuals standing about. Shaw, in this moment, appears nervous. The manor that stands before you is elegant and also massive. It is 3 stories high, and the grounds are very expansive. The gates to the front are quite large.
Is the only way in the front gate?
And he turns to you and kind of does like one of those like hand gestures, like he just like kind of like a come see come saw sort of thing, like kind of. With his hands, he goes, "Well, I mean, there's back doors, sure, but I'm not entirely sure if they're any more or less frightening than the front."
Zach thinks we should just go through the front door. It's faster that way.
Yes. Drakiara, how much magic is in the area?
Yes.
You know what? I am just going to have been casting that spell as a ritual on the way here, if that's allowed.
Well, I mean, rituals require you to typically not be moving. And you were
Actually,
actively
no.
attempting to occlude your presence from other people.
Fair.
So you were rolling other skill checks at the time. So like that does break up that at the very least. But if you do in that moment though, like as you guys are standing at the front gates, Shaw just kind of goes, "Well," and like turns to leave, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna head out. It looks like you've got this business in hand. I also have a lot of other things I need to tend to, so I will leave this to your business. Additionally, I do not want to be seen with you on these grounds, so I wish you the best of luck." And he sort of tips his head.
How should we get in contact with you if we manage to exfiltrate this place?
Find your way back to the cathedral.
Okay, then.
If you survive, if you find evidence, and it's not, this whole mess being brought to an end and whatnot, make your way back to the cathedral, and this whole thing can be dealt with.
Did he bring any supplies back with him when he came back?
Yes, actually, and I forgot. Did anybody, because, nobody stopped to ask him specifically about any vampire hunting equipment, but he did bring you guys, like, a number of basic armaments, swords, shields, things like that. Would there have been anything you requested specifically from him?
Sun sticks.
You said there
Fake
weren't any in
sword
the
sounded
city.
nice.
You know what? We'll just say that in that moment when you guys requested before he left, if there were any sun sticks or anything like that that he could bring back to give to you guys, he says that they have not outwardly been banned, but that the sale of such items within the town of Alderth have mysteriously stopped. That it is something that he's been casually trying to look into, but he knows when he's poking his nose a little too far into Noble's business and is liable to get it cut off. So every time he's attempted to look around for sun rods or have, like, talk to some merchants and have, a shipment maybe brought in, either that merchant feigns ignorance and pretends that he doesn't know what we're talking about, or that merchant maybe went on a vacation and his shop is strangely vacant. That a lot of the equipment that the hunters would use specifically for hunting vampires and other such greater undead has been removed by the nobility. That is where the rumors about their vampirism have started.
Next time we ever find ourselves in this city, why don't we bring along an entire crate of sunsticks and just launch them into the noble section?
Because that's an excellent way to piss off a bunch of vampires into murdering us in the streets.
Yeah.
That being said, so there was no suggested vampire hunting equipment that he could provide, so we wouldn't
Big
really have
sword?
requested anything from him except
If you did request a great sword, he does bring one back, and it is of just regular quality.
Yeah.
Do you have any jerky?
Fine old earth steel, and he gives that over. You can add that to your inventory. It is a great sword.
No,
How great is it?
look into learning how to frickin' enchant everyone's weapons.
Sorry, what was that, Quad?
Oh, I was jokingly saying how great is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the good old.
I have to get
side
that sound.
okay, so
Hey Doc, side note, not that it matters in this context because again we had to make other skill checks, but you can absolutely ritual cast while moving.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
It just requires concentration, so as long as we don't get injured, or you don't have to cast another spell, or like you don't stop to talk, or say do another skill check, for example. But if you're just like walking down the road, you can be just walking down the road and ritual casting. It'll draw a lot of attention, but you can do it.
there's some asshole mage who's juggling magic between his fingers down the road.
Yeah, basically. It's like you're not gonna hide that you're doing it, but yeah, you can.
Anyways, so if we're about to enter the mansion, Snack, time for your anti canine potion.
Indeed. I would also like, if everybody could, we'll say Drakir, you're gonna cast detect magic out front of the building.
Yep.
Dope. Sticks his arm out and frowns.
Time to take your medicine, Snack.
All right, so you take your
Give our
injection.
rare Pomeranian his anti-Pomeranian juice.
Snack does not resist the injection. Oh, I don't know if you caught. I did cast aid as a when we go to leave. So before we would have, well, technically when we broke rest, basically. But it's only the 5 hit point version, and that was on me, Caleb, and
Caleb. Okay.
yeah.
All right, so Snack, Piffles, and Caleb, you each get 5 HP, which increases. It basically increases your maximum HP. It's not considered temporary. For the duration of the spell, which is 8 hours.
3, 4, 5.
I love the spell so much.
Okay, if we're about to enter Talon goes, time to be sneaky, everyone. As soon as we hear back from Drakir's detect magic, though.
All right, so after about 10 minutes of focus and concentration out front of the building, Drakir, you do cast detect magic. as a ritual. So for the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use this action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in that area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, and 3 feet of wood or dirt. Awesome. And you're standing at the gates when you cast this spell, yes?
Yeah.
Dope. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Good thing I am proficient in that.
I'm guessing I have to as well, since I cast Warding Bond and Dracure at the same time.
Yeah, the spell wards a willing creature you touch and creates a mystic connection between the two and the target until the spell ends. While the target's within 60 feet, gains a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws and has resistance to all damage. Each time it takes damage, you take the same amount of damage. The spell ends if you drop to 0 hit points. Okay, who do you... Oh, you cast that on Dracure?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I guess that makes that save a 14 instead of a 13 then.
Yes, it is. And it's good that it
Technically.
does, because... So, you finish casting this spell, waving your hands through the air and focusing your concentration. Only within a hair's breadth do you shield your mind from what appears to be some manner of reflex or magical trap that has been set upon the gates of this structure.
Oh.
You reach out with your spell and with your senses to try and detect where magic is, and it seems as though there is a defense against individuals doing exactly this within the premises of Waycrest Manor.
Oh, if they weren't already suspicious enough, this pretty much gives it away.
Indeed. That was a DC 14, and you just survived. So I was like, I saw that 13, and I was like, aw, Chief, this is going to suck. There's like, oh, you got a +1. Awesome, cool.
The best thing is I'm literally casting this just because this is Sneck's like pre-battle role, basically his aid and Warding Bond.
That's
Hold on.
dope.
Thank you, Snack.
So, that being said, you can still use Arcanum to try and suss out any kind of magic that you might be able to sense using your natural abilities as a sorcerer. As magic is quite literally in your blood, you do possess at least some key or basic abilities of sussing out magical interference or presence in your general area.
Ooh.
So you feel, even though like you actually like not using the spell anymore, like you managed to shield your mind from what's happening. You realize that obviously this was a barrier that was designed to stop spells very specific to this. However, your sort of attunement with magic has given you a slight advantage in this regard. You reach out with a bit more of your natural senses, just kind of listen to what your blood tells you. And in that moment, not only do you feel the barrier itself, but beyond the barrier in that structure, you feel a ruinous amount of necromancy pouring out. What is specific about this, though, is that it is not familiar to you.
Oh, that's not good. That's
I was
not
about
good
to
at
say,
all. That's
he
the
looks at
exact
it-
opposite of good.
He looks at it, goes, that's unfamiliar. Looks at Talrand. Yep. Still tastes like the King's magic. Looks
Yeah,
at Snack.
like
King's magic.
having been born and growing up within the kingdom of Autometh, like you've been around strong sources of necromancy. You've been in the king's presence. It's something that you definitely are familiar with as necromancy. This is necromancy, but it's different. It is like it's an apple, but it's a different kind of apple. Like instead of like a fucking Royal Gala apple, this would be like a Granny Smith or a green apple. Like they're both apples, but they're very, very different. So you do recognize this ruinous amount of magic as being necromancy, but it's not at all what you are familiar with.
I turn to the rest of the party. So I am detecting just colossal amounts of necromancy
necromantic magic, and it is nothing like the king's.
Sorry, I missed
Well, that's bad.
I'm sorry, I just imagined with the describing it as a taste, Dracula running up, licking the gate, and
It's
going,
like a
running
fucking
over,
rabbit.
licking Talrand, and then licking a snack.
Hmm.
Colossal amounts of necromancy.
Num, 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 num. Gross. Gross.
Snack thinks
To
we
be
should
fair,
go.
if I were using sense of taste, I wouldn't actually need to lick you. I got a reptile tongue that could just stick it out,
Yeah, it's
pick
true.
up the particles off the air.
Looking at the building, just like, looks at you guys. Just like,
That's great.
You would still have to
Oh.
get somewhat close to us.
It's Cutie in the chat. She should draw this.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh,
But
Kind of up to her.
I think so. I just want a picture
no, I
of
don't
Dracula
think
tasting the air and then tasting us and tasting the air again. It's like, what? What do you? Why?
Is-
What?
Him do a heavy
Wait.
blim.
I wish Cutie was here right now, because that would have been great to see as one of her sketches.
Doc, have you seen what?
Somebody
Jack
clip
Jones
this and show it to
has
Cutie.
said?
Right?
What was that?
Have you seen what Big Jack Films has said in the chat?
Yes, that a voice actor passed away today. Yeah.
Sorry for your loss,
Oh,
Jack.
sorry.
I
Big Jack.
apologize for that, Jack. Yeah, it's.
Oh.
I do believe I saw that on Facebook. Actually, he was a pretty cool guy. I wish you well and in your recovery. I hope you guys do okay. It is a time that sucks in this world. So let's all try to keep each other close, be smart, make good decisions, all that jazz.
I can't wait for quarantine to be over.
You
Hopefully
and
our-
me
ho-
both.
Hopefully our shenanigans here tonight can bring you a little bit of joy.
Oh, back to those shenanigans.
Do you
Pass
guys
without a-
enter-
Pass without a
yes.
trace.
You cast Pass Without a Trace?
Yes.
All right, link it for me in the chat so we can have a look. As Acolyte Sneck growls and takes a step forward. Pass Without a Trace. A veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, making you and your companions, or masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a plus 10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
I fully acknowledge that if there's going to be tracking in these grounds, it will likely be magical. But
Well,
We
not
still
only
get
that,
that
but
plus
like
10 to
looking
stealth.
at even just the stoop of this building appears to be made from like polished stone, and you guys probably have like mud and street filth on your shoes, so like not leaving footprints on the marble would probably be a good move.
yeah, and
Unless we wanted to piss these guys off.
it just says that we can be tracked by magic. It doesn't mean that the magic invalidates the plus 10 to stealth.
Yes. You still get your plus 10 to your stealth checks. You can be tracked by
Good.
magical means, but not by non-magical means. So anybody using like regular survival skills to try and follow you.
But if they're using magic, they still have to be their stealth to track us.
Exactly. All right. And so, what do you guys do after casting that spell?
I assume we start stealthing.
Go
Drive,
home.
You just like, turn on your heel. Well, it's like fuck right
Yup.
off.
Well, peace the fuck out, friendos.
Let's go deal with the colossal amount of magic.
All right, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen,
Specifically
Welcome.
necromantic magic.
to your first mega dungeon.
Oh dear Christ! Okay,
I don't like that you put mega in front of that.
Yep.
I know what that means. Oh god.
That sounds like a bad
Position
thing.
yourselves here. I'm gonna keep pinging that spot. It is the top
Oh, I see.
center of the map.
Hang on, I gotta zoom out because the map got real big
Mother,
on me.
holy
The map
fucking
is
shit.
160 squares, no, 120 squares across and 40 squares high.
Holy crap, that is a lot. Okay, there's where everybody is. I'm like, okay, I see several walkways with that pattern. Where the fuck are we going? There it is.
You see
Oh.
just down here, at the front, you see a series of 4 doors marking the front. As you guys are making your way up, the cobblestone becomes of almost masterful work. And as you make your way into this area, you
I
do
can't
see
drag my
yourselves.
person to get there. Nope.
Okay, remember that when you're looking at your character sheet, you want
Yep.
to go to
Well-
like where it is on the side in the journal area.
Yes.
You want to drag that character from the name, not the portrait.
Okay. Yeah, no, I keep trying to do that, but the problem, like, I just got it, but, like, the problem is that it keeps highlighting all of the text on me.
Whoops.
So half the time it'll work, and half the time it's like, nope, you can't grab that. I'm just gonna highlight everything for you. And I'm like, this is not accessible.
Yeah.
Like, if I had even less fine motor function than I currently do, I'd be
Presents
fucked.
character.
They need an accessibility
piffle.
consultant on this stupid site.
Well, exactly. HP. That's your AC. Dope.
Would you like being the HP
Oh,
dog?
I accidentally created a square of myself in the corner over here. And just put a big green X over.
Okay, I will try to find.
It's in a
where-
bush on the top left. I'm just
Oh,
putting
there it
a
is.
massive
Yep. Okay.
green X
Okay.
over her so you could find
I
it.
will delete that.
Because I didn't realize it did that until all of a sudden I look over and there's my face looking at me.
Doc, what numbers do you like in the token slots, and which order would you do you like?
HP is represented by the green thing. AC
Oh,
is represented by
whoops.
blue, and the red can be used for other such things.
I put green dots
Uh,
on where I was standing by accident because I forgot to
I
change it to a
am
pointer.
going to go
I'm
through. I know that people are
permanently
adding in stuff. I
exhausted.
do apologize for the confusion. I'm going to be going through and just like manually adding in a lot of things because, like, I still haven't figured out.
Doc?
Mhm.
You put my
Oh.
AC at 14. It's currently 15 because the spell Sneck cast on me.
Yes, you can manually adjust that.
Is that... Did I get that spell too?
No,
Or no?
I-
Or you
no,
can
that's a
adjust it
different
on
spell.
your sheet.
you
I
got the
believe.
5 hit points. That was it.
Yes, I did.
but-
I was
yeah.
confused for a second. I'm like, wait, what spells am I watching now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my spell save in the red one, which is also 14.
HP. This is your AC. Save.
A nice thing to make Doc's life easier is I've been putting my passive perception in the red so that he can just click on our thing and know whether or not we would have seen something.
Well,
Oh,
I have sorcery points, so that's something I do need to keep track of. So that's what I use
That's
my red
true.
for.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just put my spell
my-
DC in there. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, whereas on mine, I can just use my spell list to keep track of how many spells I have left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Controlled by Talrend. There we go. Good. That's your HP. This is your
Is passive
AC.
perception just your
Got it.
wisdom stat?
Passive perception is 10 plus your wisdom modifier and any other modifiers that you have.
So it's 10 for me because I have no modifiers in wisdom.
Yeah, because like it's 10 plus your wisdom modifier plus anything else that you could add to it. So like in some cases people have like other things that they can put on to be like,
Like-
oh, my guy has this and like does these extra things, and you'd be like, sure, great, but like sometimes they don't have like racial bonuses to search or whatever.
Yeah, no, I just have 10. I'm just gonna put that in here then. And passive perception.
Hmm.
But it's perhaps a little bit odd that we can play this map in at zoomed in at 250% and it wouldn't be unreasonable.
That's why I had to like zoom out when I came over to this map because it was gigantic on my screen. I was in the bottom right corner and I like zoomed out
Yeah.
5 times and was like, how fucking big? Where am I?
Let me see if I can, just for the folks at home. Like if I zoom all the way out to even there to 10%, you can see the full structure.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's huge.
This is, as I'd mentioned before, as you guys were approaching the building, this is the ground floor of this building. There are in this 3 floors
Fuck.
that you can see, plus a tower off to the. If you're standing on
Oh.
the compass directions right now, it would be to the eastern side.
I get the
There's
feeling
a
we might be here
round
for
tower.
at least a month's worth of campaign sessions.
No. Oh, maybe sessions. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
that or longer.
Might take a few sessions to get through these ones, champ. This is as I said. This is a huge fucking manor. It's super, super, super big.
This was a lot of work.
And yeah, spoots. Yeah, it's the asylum all over again. Let's hope that the spook can actually get you. Well, in this case, you can see the map, so you don't necessarily forget too much where you've been. And also, I control the ghosts and things that are in here, so it's not like they're gonna manifest and then run out of giving a shit halfway through getting through the building at you. They're like, oh, it's spawned.
Yeah,
It's
let's not-
scurrying down the
let's-
hallway. Look out! And then it's just like, fuck it. And like,
Let's not forget this is effectively a Bloodborne level.
like this is the manner of an extraordinarily wealthy and influential individual. So like, this is their huge mansion. Yeah. And there
Yup,
is,
that's the right
thankfully,
reaction.
6 of you. So you are going to have, obviously there's going to be like maybe some difficulty in getting through this, but it's not going to be entirely impossible. Like, you guys are going to have a means by which to achieve success here in one way or another, and get on through it.
We're gonna die.
I'm in danger.
You can die.
I was about to
Very,
say
very-
with the help when Quad played the help me, I was about to say, Alloy, you're the one doing the helping.
Help me.
Y'all are allowed to die once. one of you may die once.
Snack, if you'd be so kind and be limited with your spell casting.
Yeah.
We're going for endurance on this one, lads.
Like, I've cast 2 spells, but one of them lasts 8 hours and one of them lasts an hour.
Something tells me you're going to have to recast the one on me.
I really hope not, because I only have 1 more spell slot of that level.
Oof.
Anyways, so. Yeah,
And I really want to hold on to that spell slot.
that's very fair. In case you need to resurrect one of us.
No, that would be the higher spell. That's level 3. I have 2 of those as well.
Oh,
I have
okay.
1 level 2 spell level left. But I really want to hold on to it in case I need to cast that.
Calm emotions. Oh, attempt to suppress the strong emotions in a group of people. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered around the point of your choosing within range must make a charisma saving throw. A creature can choose to fail this throw if it wishes. If a creature fails its saving throw, then, yeah, you can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. When this spell ends, any suppressed effect resumes, provided that its duration has not expired in the meantime, or in the case of, say, vampires, the cause by which it's being charmed is not annihilated. You can make a target indifferent about a creature of your choice that it's hostile towards. This indifference ends if the target is attacked or harmed by a spell. If it witnesses any of its friends being harmed, when the spell ends, the creature becomes hostile again unless the DM rules otherwise.
So that, combined with that,
That's
means fuck
that
you
is
charm
the
spells.
Opposite. That is the opposite of my dissonant whispers.
You
Calm
make
emotion.
people panic.
So
Well,
combination of calm emotions and protection from evil and good equals I don't care if you charm him as long as you don't charm me first.
Yeah. One willing
See, I
creature you
just
touch is
got-
protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and the undead, etc. The
I
protection
just
grants
have-
several benefits. Creatures of those
Yeah,
types have
one.
disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. So yeah, you can choose one person and be like, you can't be charmed by the undead. Or like, I'll give you protection against the undead specifically, in which case then they'll be like immune to whatever
That's my
approach
answer
it.
to charming.
Dissonance,
But my-
fireball.
Well, you're
Could my
not
dissonant
wrong.
could my dissonant whispers work on the vampires? Because it's psychic damage.
save throw on a failed save to get 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction. That's the thing.
Because
Find
like that
out.
wouldn't turn them into mist. They have brains. I can use that on their brains.
Try it. see
I
what
don't like
happens.
the way you said
Only
try
one
it.
way to find out.
I don't like the way you said that. So I'm
He's
just.
not gonna just reveal stuff
It's
like
not-
that.
Yeah, I can't just tell you
But
how to
also
kill these
last-
monsters.
I tried to take something he said. I ended up not playing my bagpipes for the werebear, and look how that went.
Okay, so we approach the door.
Yeah,
there anything-
that's the thing, Spoots. The protection from good and evil doesn't necessarily affect alignments. It's just you choose a type of creature, and it protects you from being charmed or frightened or possessed by that type of creature. It actually doesn't have anything to do with alignment, despite its name.
Considering it works
It's
on
more
celestials.
protection from who you think is evil to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think
Protection
is great.
from that dude over there.
That guy right there. Find that guy and fire him.
Yep.
All right, so
As long as they fire?
what are
No.
you guys doing?
So, we the perception to see if there I notice anything particularly dangerous on the steps as we try to towards the door.
If
Roll
Drakier
me
starts
some
casting
perception,
fireball, I'll
man.
just back him up with the bagpipes. Fire all things.
This
So-
building's going down to the ground.
Looking at the building, you do
Yup,
notice
We're just
that
gonna roast it.
Okay.
you guys do notice that the stonework of the structure is very ornate. That like the craft of the external of the building is masterfully done. The stairs leading up are hewn from like a very nice stone, not marble, but very sturdy. They're polished almost in how clean they are. The benches are crafted from a fine wood and metal, and the tile work leading up to the doors themselves as well are made from like very ornately crafted hardwood and gold by the seams of it. Speaking of like traps and anything else in specific, it doesn't appear that any such things are present.
Shall we move ahead, friends?
Have they not noticed our presence yet?
I have no idea.
If they have, they haven't deigned to show themselves, so let's go.
We are trying to sneak. We've not made attempts to sneak, but we are trying to sneak.
Yeah.
I mean, we rolled stealth rolls.
Not recently.
So here's the thing. I mean, I was watching a guy. There's a YouTube channel called the Animated Spellbook that often goes on about things, speaking as like, especially from a DM and a player's perspective. And one of the things they talk about is trying to sneak as a group sucks because you're requiring the entire group to roll, and regardless of their bonuses, asking 6 people to roll repeatedly every time they want to do something stealthy, inevitably somebody's going to roll a 1, which is going to fuck up your party, which isn't
I got a
necessarily
1.
fair. Like
Hi.
it shits on people's ability to try to move stealthily. One of the things that they suggested in that particular video was like taking everybody's bonuses into account. You would effectively roll once and then add whatever bonuses, and take the lowest person's bonus and put that on.
So quads bonus.
Yeah, like quads, stealth,
Which is 0 with
which
a
is 0
disadvantage.
with a disadvantage. Yeah, so with this spell, you're taking your like plus 10. So you'd roll a d20, add 10 to it, and then go from there. And that would be effectively the group's thing. Because if one person fails, the whole group is revealed. It's not like that only that one person gets spotted. Because as much as people would like, I'm sure there's lots of rogues out there that would absolutely love to watch a paladin get their teeth kicked in for failing their stealth roll on a particularly stealthy part of the mission. So they're like, you take the lowest person's bonus, and then you just roll with that, and it's just the one roll for the group. Because everybody who's currently there, unless they are actively searching for you, only have their passive perception in order to spot you. So it's not like they get the ability to actively search. They have the potential of rolling lower than 10 if they actively search, but they also have the potential of rolling above. So it's really down to the players as to whether or not they succeed in sneaking past things in these regards.
I've also seen like group averages be a thing, but your
Yeah.
way it has less math involved.
Yeah, it's like you just take the lowest person average. That being said, if you do fail in spectacularly, like if you do roll something that's very low, you roll a 1, for example, I will also allow you one opportunity in that like regard to hide. So like everybody can then try to roll stealth individually and hide somewhere. So that they do not get seen. So as someone who's passively hanging out, like you knock over something and it makes a sound, it's like you have a moment at least to get stealthy and sneak and hide someplace, and go from there. Because it's just ridiculous with like the whole group.
Yeah.
It's like rolling. It's like even if everybody had fucking Talron's like abilities at stealth, someone's gonna roll a 1 eventually, and it makes it punishes players who want to play.
Don't at
stealthily.
me.
Or
Like Talron's rolled like 3 2s in stealth today.
yeah, that's just like eventually, inevitably, you'll fail, and it punishes people attempting to take stealthy approaches to certain missions and whatnot. So I was like, well then let's just try this. So Alloy rolls, and you got a 19.
Well, if that this is more like if
Oh yeah, that's another
we
thing.
would do the original way.
If
I would've
somebody's taking
instantly, like,
disadvantage,
failed.
then if it's advantage or disadvantage when you're doing an average roll like this, you add or subtract 5. So in this particular
So we roll at
case,
a -5 effect.
yeah, you get your 0 because you have no 0. You have like no bonus to stealth. Plus 10 from Talron, minus 5 from the fact that you're doing this with disadvantage. So you would, in that particular case, on your first roll, you would have gotten a 14.
The only exception to this I could see, Doc, would be if someone was like Caleb was like, okay, I'm going to move, 20, 30 feet ahead of the party. Yeah, Alloy gets seen, but everyone looks to Alloy. They don't look to the rope 30 feet ahead in the shadows.
If
I'm
that
sorry, I have
person is
to-
moving individually, then they get to make an individual roll.
I have to double check, Doc.
Mhm.
If like the first roll he should have gotten a 24, unless if you're saying he both takes a -5 for being at disadvantage and rolls twice and takes the lowest die.
No, he does not roll twice.
Okay.
So instead
he
of
takes
rolling
the
2
19.
times as the group, as like a group score, one of the rules that the guy put forward was if you have advantage or disadvantage as a like for your group roll, you either add or subtract 5, because one of those people in your parties is making it more difficult. So instead of rolling multiple times and taking the lower, you just minus 5 from the number and keep going.
Then basically what
So you
with
rolled a
that roll-
19 plus 10 minus 5. So that would be
24.
24. Yeah, so the group very stealthily approaches the building. With a 24, you guys are moving very quietly as a unit.
Their
If you do
passive
branch off,
perception-
then yes, you are going to be rolling individually.
Wait, is in this case, would passive perception be the defensive or the offensive?
Passive perception in this case would be... Oh yeah, that's a very good point.
defensive.
Yes, because the person is initiating with the stealth check.
Okay, so they would have to have plus 14 to their passive perception checks.
Yeah, they would have to have an obtuse amount of wisdom in order to like see you coming.
How much wisdom do you have? 40.
Like,
Yeah, because even with, let's see, if you have 20 wisdom,
I can see
that's plus
forever.
5. Well, if you have 20 wisdom, that's plus 5. And if you took, like, the feat that increases your perception, it's only plus 5. So you'd still only have a passive perception of 20.
Still. Like, that's crazy. Like, passive perception of
It's
20.
still vampires. Be careful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
no,
vampires.
yeah, no, still.
That does make my passive
Oh, and
perception
proficiency
very
bonus,
useful
right.
still.
Not to mention they need to use magic to track us. They don't
Yeah.
know we're here in the first place. They can't use magic to look for us.
Now, this is the place. If there was a place to be tracking us with magic, this would be the place.
Yeah, but they gotta know we're here first before they actively try to use it.
Not necessarily. There might be passive magic to track magic being happening on the grounds.
We're going into a
Oh, we're-
vampire or necromancer's lair. There's going to be some BS somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, so does that mean we have a 24 for our stealth check, Doc?
That is correct. As a
As we're
group,
moving into the base?
collectively, you have a 24.
Nice.
Cool, let's go.
So
Yeah.
Talron moves up.
So you guys moving up?
Does Talron note anything different with any of the doors? Or are they just all the same?
I mean, you can take your 13, or you can try to roll again if you want. With a 19, you looking at the doors, they appear to be of similar make. There doesn't seem to be anything particularly different between any of them.
Try entering by the one on the I'm gonna say the left, but it'd be on our right.
So this one over here.
Yes.
Okay. So you grab that door and
Well. Yeah.
go for the handle.
Yeah.
Touching the handle, you notice eerily that it's not locked.
I mean, if it's a big mansion filled with people, I generally not lock things.
Mm-hmm. Do you try to open the door?
It seems to have opened itself for me.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So I'm just gonna do that for you. Creaking, like as you like move the handle and open the door, it doesn't make any sound whatsoever. Eerily enough, either the door is extremely well oiled or this place is fucking cursed and you're not sure which is worse. So you, though, creak the door open and look in.
I do not know if it's cursed or not.
Yeah, you're not sure. This whole place is fucking going off. But looking in, through the door, Talron can see that this building is not only extraordinarily large, but the floor on the inside is made from a sort of like a design of polished marble. That it is extraordinarily well made.
How difficult is it to pry polished marble tiles from the ground?
Not, it's the carrying it that's the problem.
Yeah, they weigh a lot, and I will punish you for that if you try to steal tile floors.
I have helped
It's a
my mom
joke.
tile floors. It heavy as shit.
Yeah, marble's heavy.
So heavy.
Can we paint one of them green?
That one's still green.
And that one's still green. Oh, do you have any green paint on you?
You have plants on me. Fresh ones, too.
If you want to take
We
the
will
time
soon
to
paint
do it.
these tiles red.
Now,
Let's go.
Alloy makes a good point. Red it is.
But yeah, stepping into the lobby, still moving stealthy as you are, you do notice that not only is this building quite expansive and that the floors are made from this like beautiful polished marble, but that eerily enough, there's no one here in the lobby.
Fucking fantastic.
You do notice, though, that just across you from the lobby, from the doors, you do see some stairs that do go up, and also
Did
a
anyone else
number of
just-
doors on either side that lead into the building proper. So you can see that. So, like, as you, like, come in and look around, like, the candles and sconces and other lighting, like the chandelier above you, are all lit. They've all been tended to recently by the looks of it. And there are a number of doors, both to either side of you, and some stairs that go up. Actually,
Perhaps they are all slumbering.
There we go. So you can see there's doors all over the damn place. Here and over here, and there's some right there.
We
We're
can hope.
surrounded. But
Because
Go with door number 12.
Who wrote Doom in the backyard?
What?
It wasn't me. I've been coloring tiles
I'm
green.
just gonna. There we go.
That took effort.
So we move in.
Let's stick with the serious atmosphere.
Okay, so you move in. Come on in, Piffles. Do you close the door behind you?
Hang on, I just put a green dot on myself because I forgot to change things. There we go.
Yes.
Here
We
go.
would
Get rid of that.
carefully close the door behind us.
Eerily, as you move the door back into its position, the latch
Doesn't
clicks
fall off its hinges.
and
What?
shuts. The door smoothly moves and clicks shut.
Mm.
The click of the door echoing through the marble floors and walls and ceiling.
Like locked clicked or just clicked?
With a 19 perception, I'm going to say it's just clicked.
Okay.
Like you didn't hear it lock or anything like that.
Click. Rather than a ka-chunk.
Yeah. Rust is like, here's Bob Ross. Here's low res Bob Ross. Like-
Okay.
Okay.
Cool story, Bob.
Should we go upstairs?
Ross.
We have no idea what we're looking for. It might be in the lower floors, it might be in the basement, it might be in the upper floors.
Fuck, we're gonna have to turn this entire place upside down.
We have
I don't have the spell
Literally.
for that.
no idea what we're Rainer, you can see yourself out.
What?
Basically I said, we're gonna have to turn this whole place upside down. I don't have a spell for that.
Not yet, at least. Earthquake comes later.
Get out.
Mom,
Snick thinks normally most places they keep things that you want to show off on the first floor. They keep things you want to protect not on the first floor.
unless they're hiding shit in
Yes.
plain sight.
And that is a very obvious and suspicious way to go upstairs, as if they were showing it off.
Uber hides stuff in plain sight all the time, but I think that might be on accident.
We hide in plain sight all the time, like right now.
Yep.
Snack, you're very much right. Those stairs up, though, are moderately suspicious because they are so obvious.
Gaudy?
Yeah. Got
This
it.
whole place is gaudy.
Well, that assumes that they don't know this. Don't know
I believe
that
it is
very
Gothic.
idea. They don't know that very idea and hide it on the first floor, expecting everyone who looking for information to skip the first floor because they don't think it would be there.
That's. I mean, we can go with that logic loop indefinitely. That's not a helpful logic loop. But what if they know, and so that they're planning in the plans, around the plans, on the plans, in and around the plans?
Snick thinks we should go up the stairs because either we will find something of use or we will find someone in charge that we can make show us something of use.
We're trying not to be seen. I think it would be best if we just search everywhere, leave no stone unturned, just in case.
That seems like it would increase our chances of being seen.
And
I
then
would
we
concur
demand
with
to know where it is.
I would concur with you if there wasn't such a focus on the catacombs. We're not going to find an entrance to the catacombs upstairs.
True. Snack forgot about catacombs. Okay, so we search this floor to try and find a way down.
We
There's lots of
search.
stairs everywhere.
Yes. We search until we find things.
Okay.
So,
Perceptions?
where do you begin?
These doors are closer.
The doors right beside me are closer.
All
I
right.
didn't
There's
see those
stairs
doors.
up here.
No, we're not doing stairs, Pef.
Oh.
We decided no stairs
We're
for now.
not
Thought we were
doing
looking
And there's
for
an
the
outdoors.
downstairs.
God, it's like herding cats with you people.
I just wanna things.
Look, Gordon, a chair.
Snack is slowly growing impatient.
You
as
can
the
get
minutes go
your
by.
own chair with your play coins, Gordon.
Or over here.
Hey, Doc.
Or
Doc.
over here.
Okay,
Okay,
Stop
that-
coloring the tiles green and stay together.
friends, we are getting fairly seriously distracted. Can we try to
How long before Piff just starts playing the bad pipes?
Okay, come
I
on, guys.
haven't.
Come on,
we-
come on,
Yeah,
guys.
but the acoustics in this place are wicked.
Can we
and
focus
I
on the
like-
serious environment we're in, please?
Yeah.
Guys, gonna get yourself in trouble.
Alright, open the door, get on the floor.
Piff was
All right.
made for trouble.
Moving
She
up
is
to the
a
door,
goblin.
it is very similar to many of the other doors you're going to be seeing in this place, and it's very ornately built from a heavy wood.
No.
anything past it?
Do you open it up?
I was hoping to like this through the keyhole.
Nah. Nah, fam. Not only does this door not have a keyhole, but due to its like exquisite structure, there's no way to sort of like peek around or even
There's no
peek under it.
seam.
Yeah, like
What
it's so
can-
close to the floor, like it's just you can't quite peek through. A nature of 12.
What kind of wood is the door made out of?
Wood.
Mahogany.
Anyways,
Nah, it's just
Let's
like
go.
a hardwood. It's like maple or something. It's nice.
so Talbot
Wow.
fucking opens the door slowly, carefully,
Slowly
slightly
and
creaks
carefully,
it open.
you creak that bad boy open, revealing
Okay.
the inside of the room. Let me just boop. There you go.
Oh.
And what you see inside is like a series of these large, like cushion chairs over on the sides. No arms on the sides of them, no backs to them. But surrounding this table, you see that there's not only chandeliers in the corners, but there are these like beautifully crafted seats with like big cushions and velvet covering. Standing in one of the corners, absolutely fucking exhausted, you see a servant girl.
Oh shit!
She is standing at attention. She does not notice that you are opening the door.
Carefully closes the door.
Okay. And no,
friends.
that's Alloy.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Alloy.
So yeah, carefully you close the door, and it shuts. And I imagine if you like use the handle, you can close it without it clicking.
Yes, being very careful about that.
Yeah.
Okay, friends.
Yes.
Servant girl in the room.
You think she wants some jerky?
Probably not, Piffles.
Acolyte's next motions to be quiet and points towards the other doors. Over here.
Aren't you out of jerky anyway?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, halfling jerky.
Oh, right. Yeah, I gotta do there so you guys can see in the room properly. Sorry about that. So then you guys move over to the other side.
Beg me to the other side.
I'm doing the gobble wonder.
So we have a door.
Yes, you do.
Creak
Sooner or
open this
later, we're going to tie Piffles to Alloy like a papoose.
Don't do that. He is noisy.
Piffles, this is very dangerous. Can we ask that you carefully follow along? Please.
Jip. God damn it.
What?
Sorry. I'm having a little difficulty with stuff. There we go. All right, so you grab this door, right? And you creak that bad boy open. And you have yourself a peek in. Stop drawing things on the map, please.
The chaotic energy is real powerful today.
Looking
Just
inside the door,
Making
though,
surprises
for this particular room, you do see, standing immediately on the other side of the door, is a small group of undead.
Well, fuck.
Uh-oh.
Standing by, and again in this room there are like immaculately well-kept cushions, a long red carpet leading up to an altar. In the center of the altar, I'm gonna sort of freehand just draw like a little X on the center of the altar. You see a massive obsidian skull. And there is a man dressed in long black robes who is standing at the skull. What do we got? Yeah, close it.
I think we found our evidence.
And points towards the doors. Well then, you guys are still going under.
We're fucked.
What was
Stealth of
it?
24.
Yeah. So's I'm going to need to bring up some character sheets here.
And see if any of them have a passive perception of 25.
Oh, it's active. They're looking right at you. You opened a door they were actively staring at.
Boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. We have a fucking audience. An undead fucking audience.
Like, the skeletons and the zombies that were standing there were facing you. It seems as
They have a
though they
wisdom
were
of 0.
positioned to watch the doors very intently, and the necromancer at the end of the room, who placed them there, did so in such a way that he didn't really trust them not to make noise or see people if they came in, while he's in prayer.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the bright
Uh,
side, soulless undead tend to have low int and wisdom, but we'll find out.
Indeed. In this
Who knows?
particular
There's a little
case,
natural one.
let's have a look here, because,
Well,
like, how would you even do this? Like, if you open a door right in front of somebody, like, they're going to see you. Like, I don't know if they have to roll for that.
Like,
think
were
what
they
you have
set
to
to
roll
actively
for
just stare
is-
directly at the door?
Yeah,
if everybody moves
Well,
out of the door frame,
we were
I can
creaking
cast
the door
shatter
open
on them.
slightly.
yeah.
Are they going to
Um,
react to an inch wide gap in the door and immediately go intruder if we're being really sneaky about sneaky and stealthy, which we are?
If they're
It kinda
staring
depends on how the necromancer
unblinkingly
set
at the
them up.
door, and then the door
You-
moves, I imagine
you
one of
can-
them would make noise. But let's find out. Let's find
Oh,
out.
You can have them
I
roll
did not
for it.
mean to click that, but
Yeah,
now
I'm
you guys know where shattered
I'm
is.
gonna have them. I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna see, because I'm gonna roll them perceptions each with advantage.
Yeah,
They
that makes
have
sense.
minuses, but let's see if any of them do catch you. Okay, so with advantage, the two skeletons do not see. With a 16 and a 17, the two zombies also don't see. You've creaked the door open ever so slightly, and as you like sort of peeked in, you see standing on the other side there are these zombies, and at the far end there appears to be somebody worshiping at a large obsidian skull.
Can I shatter it? If I shatter the obsidian skull, will it kill me?
I think the better question is in this moment, Piffles, are you peeking through the crack in the door?
Oh, I'm not. Shit, so I have to wait for them to relay that to me. Oops.
Actually, in
sorry.
this particular case, because it's under the active scrutiny of a person, I'm going to have the group roll another thing, which you
Stealth.
really only have to beat a 17 in this case.
What do we have to
Like a
roll?
group-
So
You're rolling group stealth again?
Quad's got to roll for group stealth.
Oh.
Would it be group stealth or would it be the stealth of the person opening the door? Because they can't see anybody else if I'm the one opening the door.
But they can hear us, so group
Yeah.
stealth is fair.
Except they're not.
The
like,
whole
the only
group
reason-
is present, even though you're creaking the door open and you are the one that's managing the door. The rest of the group is present. I do
You-
want to be fair.
And we do make noise, so.
But they are. looking
So we
at
gotta
the
beat
door
a
and be like,
12.
you were
We gotta
saying
get
that
12
they're
or better. We're probably going to fail this because it's more likely we will fail than we'll succeed.
Well, let's try it. Oh, fuck.
Hey, look, we failed.
That's Alloy.
Oh, Alloy,
He's
Jesus
our
Christ.
clunky boy.
I was like, whatever. They can like with a 10 plus 5, like beating a 17.
I did it.
With the 2, Alloy turns around
Yeah.
and immediately runs into
Rolling a 12. I was like, that's
suit
like a
of
little-
armor and knocks it over. He's like, oh shit, I just killed another one of me.
To be fair, this isn't technically just Alloy. This is the group making noise.
Nah, fuck.
Indeed. So someone in the group, we're not going to say any names,
Hey, not me.
may have said or made some kind of noise in this particular moment. And in doing so, which of the creatures got the highest? It was one of the skeletons. So as you like creaked open the door and looked through, they hadn't necessarily noticed until Alloy, I think, maybe like bumped into one of the chandeliers or maybe just stepped a little too hard on the marble floor and made a bit of a clang. The clang coming through the door, which is now ever so slightly ajar, alerts one of the skeletons who turns its head to look at you guys. Now, as I said, if you do get spotted, you do have the option of hiding. So in this particular case, you guys each get the ability to make one movement, so 30 feet from where you are. You can move to a space, and then individually, you can each roll a stealth to try and hide yourselves.
How far can we go?
You can do one movement, so in many cases,
So
it's 30
30
feet.
Sweet.
And then
I'm
you
gonna
can-
go
And then you can describe
under
to me
the fucking table.
where you guys are gonna try to scoots to.
I'm going
And then
under
roll
the
stealth, right?
carpet, under the table.
How ornate is the stupid wall in front of me?
The wall in front of you?
Yeah.
It's pretty ornate.
You know, lots of nice, easy handholds. Shouldn't be too difficult to climb.
Are you gonna try to climb it?
Damn it. Of
I have to
course
stay
he
within 30 feet of everybody.
Oh yeah.
Right. Fuck.
Yeah, if you like scuttle up the wall that's like next to you, I think that should be fine.
Sorry, Talron, forgot. we all panicked and spread out.
Yeah, Piffles,
Here, I will move
you
I'll move a
already
little
moved
this
more
way.
than 30 feet away.
Damn it! I wanted to hide under the carpet that's under the table, because I think that would be smart.
You could move to like here and say that you're trying to get under, like you're hiding next to the large chair.
Okay, but I'm under the carpet.
Okay.
I want to be under the carpet, because I have a feeling that these fuckers don't have good depth perception.
Okay,
So, yeah,
so
I,
you're
uh,
within
Doc.
30
Because they're
feet.
dead.
Okay.
Yeah!
I essentially scuttle up the wall beside it and try to park myself above the doorway.
Okay. So yeah, like using the sort of the doorway itself and a lot of the rest of the ornate nature of the wall, you attempt to hide. Everybody, roll me stealth, and add 10 because you are still within 30 feet of Talrand.
Actually, no, I'm gonna move. Sure,
Alloy.
I'm gonna put myself right
Drag.
here because it's within 30 feet. And I have to really
Yay!
stealth.
Alloy didn't get the worst one.
Lucky
Oh.
13.
I didn't do terrible, but I didn't do great. Fuck.
So-
My stealth rolls lately are shit.
The skeleton that initially noticed that the door had grown slightly ajar moves slowly into the open space, looking
close the
around.
door.
It's not really spotting most people, but Drakir, as you guys all move into position, stubs his toe and curses under his breath, maybe. Or in an attempt to get into that corner, like hits a sconce or some other kind of jangly chandelier bullshit, and makes some noise. Talrand, being vertically up in the air a little bit, with a 27 in stealth in that roll,
Fuck.
is managing to maintain his presence at least somewhat above and occluded from the skeleton that now proceeds to move in that direction towards the noise that it heard. After a hot second, it rounds the corner, spotting Drakiar, lets out a shriek.
Balls.
And with that, we begin combat.
Crap, I thought you were guys saying with that we're ending it. I'm like, don't.
No, I'm not
Don't
gonna.
do
We got
that to
30.
me.
We got 30 more minutes. We got time.
I was gonna say. If
I
you're
got
coming off right
time.
now, I'll be dead.
I got time.
We have to
Hold on, I have to bring up the
select
thing first.
ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have to bring up the time job.
The
Remember
thing
to
before it
select
works.
your characters and
Oh,
then
no.
Woofers
Yeah.
is still on there. The Woofers.
I
Alright,
literally
we
can't
got-
do anything
we got
because
multiples
everything I
here.
could do is going to be a shit ton of noise.
I
okay,
got
let's
23. I don't want to have
I
20.
think only the woofers is left over from last time. Those all look like the new rolls.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just rolled the 23.
Oh, Jesus,
so
yeah,
I'm-
okay,
I
so
don't
you
want to
just
go
rolled
first.
a 23.
I rolled a
Ally
22.
woofers. All right, so everything before that, I'm just gonna delete.
Yep.
Ding, ding,
And then it's
ding,
just
ding.
Snack
All
needs
right.
to roll.
So then let's go
Oh, no,
in
Snack rolls. We're
descending
good.
order. That's where we're at
Go.
for that. I also need to add in
The baddies.
I
undead
hate gold.
and the necromancer. Now, the necromancer is going to roll initiative, and he's got a 15. Boop boop.
Bonk.
The undead, not as good, are gonna roll, and they got a 13. Ba-dum-bum. All right. Where? There it is.
Okay.
So, as this thing sort of like comes out into the hallway, there's a tense moment as it's looking around. Following the sound, though, unfortunately, of Drakhar's movement, it rounds the corner and lets out an unholy and inhuman shriek, thereby beginning our combat.
And
There
stealth
we
is
go.
completely out for the rest of the dungeon then. Because
Not necessarily. This is a big building.
Shit.
Some vampires might be asleep, others might not be paying attention.
Piffles,
I don't-
it's your round. You are still hidden. You can remain so and move your turn, or you may attack with advantage because you're attacking from stealth.
And this guy's all the way over here, and those guys are still in there, and I'm just gonna give Bardic Inspiration to Snack.
Okay.
He's
that's
so
gonna
high.
break your stealth.
Oh shit, then no, maybe not. No, I'm just gonna hide. I'm just gonna keep hiding, because that guy's pretty far away.
All right, Talrand.
Because all my attacks make loud sounds. I can do a Thunder Doot, or I can do a Bad Pipes. It's fun.
You could throw a dagger.
Obviously, enough getting him off Drakkar would be the best idea, so I'm going to open fire on him after I climb down the wall.
Okay, cool. I was gonna be like, do you do it from like on top of the door? Because that's fucking dope. But yeah, you can just attack.
I mean, I'd like to acrobatically do a flip through the air, firing 2 arrows off at him, but I don't have the acrobatics for that.
I was gonna say you can roll acrobatics and see if you do like a fucking wicked flip as you come down.
Would I get anything other than cool points?
Depending on your acrobatics, I can give you a plus to your attack.
It's a gamble.
Because that sounds fucking cool. Like,
Yeah.
Just give him an inspiration point. Never mind.
I feel like
acrobatics, sweet. So add like a +5 to your hit.
Like he needed
my
more.
hit. Do they have an AC that's higher than 15?
No.
Because then unless I roll a nat 1, I can't miss.
I can't give you plus to damage. That would be silly.
Hit or miss. I guess I never miss.
I guess I never miss. Roll damage and attack as well. Also, just roll attack because you never know if you're going to get a 1.
Or a 20.
Or 20. And since that's 27 and 32, I don't think I miss.
So yeah, you let off these 2 arrows from your bow as you flip like amazingly through the air. Both of them hitting the skeleton. Roll me some damage.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to put my hunter's mark on. Guess it's too late now.
It probably doesn't matter. He's probably dead. Dope.
Damage plus an additional D8.
So both of these things slam through the skeleton skull. It immediately, as it's standing there, just goes like and falls on the ground.
Kind of imagine that,
It is fucking dead.
Screamed, and Dracula's like, "Oh no!" And then Ka-chunk had 2 eyes sticking out from the back of his head.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, he's literally like Talron like flips down from the roof, just like foam, and just like 2 arrows through the head, and immediately just crumbles to the ground. All right. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn? Oh, nice. Yeah. So you move to there. That puts you in cover. All right, so it is the Necromancer's turn. Hearing the shriek from his undead minion and hearing the commotions of combat just outside the door, he turns and runs. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He can't see anybody from there, so he goes 5, 10, 15. Coming out the door, he sees some of you, and basically like sees Talrand just behind the wall there and sees his dead skeleton in the corner and goes, "What the?" and just 5, 10, 15 back inside the room. Shit. The undead then, as he gets back in, he either motions or yells, you're not sure which. They begin to make their move out. 10, 20, 25, 30, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, let's say 25, 30, that goes to there, 20, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20. So the only guy that actually no, none of them can attack. No, the one zombie can make an attack. This one zombie over here doesn't have to fucking double move in order to get out and get in combat with people. The one zombie, as it's coming out, sees Drakiar around the corner that was alerted by the other skeleton, and swings with its arm. Does a 12 fucking hit you?
Hell no.
So it misses. Swinging wide. Bleh. All right. Drakiar, you're up.
There we go. Six fire. Okay.
Ooh.
Burning hands in a cone. Okay, so who are you aiming that at?
Probably.
Because it can either hit the skeleton or the zombie. So you rolled on a 1 on a d6.
Well, that's additional.
Oh, and then
to
at the higher level, right? Because he
15.
cast at a higher level, so it was an additional in addition to the 15, so it's 16 damage of fire. Who do you aim it at? Do you aim at the skeleton or the zombie?
Can he hit both with the cone?
No, not if they're standing that close.
If he moves, they can.
If I moved here first.
Yes,
could I?
you could. But you would provoke an attack of opportunity from both the skeleton and the zombie.
I'll risk it.
Dope. All right, so the zombie takes another swing at you. Does 13 hit you? All right. Skeleton swings its sword. Does a 12? Obviously not.
Nope.
So the two of them sort of clamor at you as you skitter out. And oh shit! When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, creature speed becomes 0. Creatures provoke opportunity attacks from you if within 5 feet.
Tried to hit him.
Against another that doesn't target you with its feet. You can make a reaction. All right, yeah, Alloy, take a swing.
I just gave Alloy an extra attack.
Yes, you
for
did.
doing that.
A 13 to hit.
This-
That actually no, tie goes to defender. So a 13 would not hit.
Okay.
That being said, Drakir does as he steps away, and you take an opportunity to like swing at him, but it like you end up moving through some of the areas that his bones were, where you thought you would strike something. It seems that there was an empty space. Some of those bones may have been missing. Drakir steps back and lets out a cone of fire, doing 16 damage to both the zombie and the skeleton.
They get a reflex. They get dexterity save for
if
half.
they get a dexterity save to have the damage. Now they have to make a DC 15 dex save. The zombie, does the zombie make it? No, he boofs it. What about the skeleton? No, he doesn't. So the both of them take 16 damage in fire. The zombie, roasted and rotting and reeking, is still standing, but the skeleton, though, gets absolutely destroyed. The fire overtakes him, and it turns and twists sort of as it dissolves into crap on the floor. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Well, I've already moved.
And cast a spell.
Yeah, there's not much more I can do.
So I think he's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Then it's next turn.
Okay, I provoke an attack of opportunity from the zombie to move there.
And this, not the skeleton, but the zombie, absolutely.
skeleton,
Well, that's the thing, is you would have had to have, if I may, because you can't move through the zombie space because the zombie's not an ally, you'd have to have gone to, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I knew. I'm like, no, I'm going to provoke from the zombie just
Yeah.
because I have to get there.
Absolutely. The zombie does take a swing at you. Does an 18 hit?
I have 18 AC, so it ties, goes to
It
defender.
ties. Tie goes to defender. So the zombie takes a swipe at you with one of its rotting hands, but doesn't manage to get through your armor or strike anywhere that's exposed. And you end up in your new position.
And then I use that.
Turn undead. Oh shit, son! You, reaching into your robes, present the little like black symbol of the skull that you are so familiar with and carrying, and use Turn Undead. You present your holy symbol and speak a prayer, censoring the undead. Each undead that can see you or hear you within 30 feet, and I'm going to say in this particular case is not an ally, must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for one turn, or for 1 minute. Or until it takes any damage. A turn creature must spend its turns trying to move away as far from you as it can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its actions, can only use the dash action to try and to escape you. What's the DC they need to make?
15.
All right, and it's a wisdom.
Yes.
Okay, so.
I'll also point out, just in case, because we don't know, if any of these are half of a CR or lower and they fail, they're immediately destroyed.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Where does it say
Because
that?
Because that is level 5, which is called Destroy Undead. Starting at 5th level, when an undead fails its saving throw against your Turn Undead feature, the creature is instantly destroyed if its challenge rating is at or below a certain threshold, as shown in the Destroy Undead table. Which
Damn,
is
son!
at 5th level, it's 1/2.
All right, let's see if they make it. There's a skeleton in front of you. The skeleton that's in front of you does not make it. The zombie that is also there does make it. So he's cool. The skeleton that's over by Talrand doesn't
Boofs
make it. in terms of distance, so it's within 30 feet of you.
Within
Yeah,
30
that other
feet.
skeleton's technically within
That's
range.
why I
No,
moved
it's a
there.
zombie. Ty goes to defender, so he technically survives. So the two skeletons that are there, as you raise your holy symbol into the air, a rush of the king's energy flows out from you in all directions. The skeletons that are all standing in your presence immediately, through the oppressive will of the king, are dissolved. They turn into ashes, and their armor and weapons clatter to the floor.
Know thy true master.
You are but pretenders.
What do you say in your prayer?
I'm trying to think on how to put this. I'm
Yeah.
not good with this.
That's okay.
Um,
I'm just gonna give you an opportunity if you want to be a badass for like a hot second.
I just say, you could say, know thy place.
Now these
No,
are
I can't. I'm running on caffeine. I can't.
That's okay. All of
It would
these
be something to the
undead.
effect of "You are not of
um,
the king." Like,
You know what? We're just gonna say that you like maybe raised your symbol up in the air, and echoing as the energy rushed out from where you were standing, you hear the king's speech. And
I like
the
that.
skeletons just say "fuck it" and die. So
Nice.
the zombies, however, are like and now they're stuck trying to vacate that premises and their bowels while they're standing in that area. Do you do anything else with your turn? You still have movement if you would like.
Well, I mean, the zombie
Move to
by
there.
me has his bowels are well done.
Yeah.
I moved to there so that when Caleb moves, he gets advantage if he attacks the one.
Sweet. That does put the other zombie out of 30 feet of you, though, so that he is not affected by the kid. Like, it's still active.
No, it's a
Turn
one-time
undead?
thing. It's
Um,
just burst.
So, okay, so now he's outside of it.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered either way. Like I said, it's a
Yeah. The
a
other
one-time
zombie, though,
thing.
has got to try to fuck off. Caleb, it is your round. What you up to? Moving. Boop. On the zombie, I cast stab.
You have
No.
advantage because of flanking.
Yeah, Doc, the two
Roll
that passed
again.
their
You have
save-
advantage because you are flanking. That's better.
Much better.
Roll your damage plus your sneak attack damage because you have advantage.
And Doc, the two zombies, since they passed, don't have to do anything.
They still have to run.
Nope.
Oh no?
That's
Oh,
just-
okay. Well, whichever way.
It was a save or die, basically.
Only
So-
because of the PR.
Fucking Caleb jumps out from his position in the wall with his rapier and fucking goes snicker snack on this guy with 18 damage. Absolutely. The zombie, its rotting flesh still managing to hold it together, but only barely, is standing there. Do you do anything else with your turn?
I mean, technically, if he
I
had a
can
spare
see-
dagger, he could pull it out.
I can
and
see
stab-
Quad just sussing out his fucking turn. Like,
Yep.
Quad on his while he
That
waits,
right.
contemplates murder. So,
Oh, that sweet, delicious Mordor.
all right. So, Caleb's done with his turn. Alloy is up. What do you do?
I activate kill mode. So I'm
Murder.exe
The zombie here is
has
going to
been
get
activated.
an opportunity attack on me.
Yeah, no, he takes a swing. Yeah, he fucking boofs it. So you run past him, and he doesn't even move. He's just like, what? as you take off suddenly with speed. Coming around the corner, Fighting Spirit. Oh, shit, son. Bonus on your turn, you can give yourself advantage on weapon attack rolls until the end of your current turn. When you do so, you gain 5 temporary HP. The number of temporary hit points increases. Holy crap. You regain it all. You regain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest.
Is it a Oh yeah, long rest.
Yeah, so you run around the corner, fucking activate kill mode. Blender.exe. You have advantage on all attacks this round.
Now I shall begin the hurrah.
Sweet
It's a 23
fucking
hit.
yeah, it does. This necromancer's got pitiful fucking AC.
I can re-roll one of those dies.
Oh yeah, because one of them was a 1, so you got 3, and then just what is it? It's 2d6 plus 3. So that's 9 plus 3. So it's 12 damage instead of 7.
All right. I'm gonna hit him
Holy shit.
again. There's a 21 hit.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. 6 and
14
a 5 and 3,
damage.
so 14 damage. As you
I
hack and
believe-
slash into this guy. Second wind!
Wait,
As you
hold on.
tear this
No,
man a new
wrong one.
orifice.
I meant this one.
Action surge! Yep, so you gain yourself another attack on this turn.
Which is technically 2 more attacks.
Oh, Jesus. What? You put yourself beyond its normal limits on your turn,
It's
you
an
can take an
action.
additional action on top of your regular action, a bonus possible action. Oh, and then and because you're at 5th level, yep, you get 2 more attacks because of action
This
surge
is-
and your 5th level extra attack feat.
Because fighters are frickin' blenders.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's
Yeah, at
an
level
11.
20, that means he can get 8 attacks around.
So that's 11 damage. Yeah, 23 hits him, and that's 14. You run into this room with your greatsword and just like, just go to town.
That's 51 damage.
Fuck.
Wow.
This man regrets sending out his undead minions.
The necromancer,
Damn straight
while
he does.
looking like a great big bag of shit, is still alive.
I think you could use your bonus action to make a free skill to make an intimidation check against this guy at this point.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can always. Yeah, you can. You know what? I'll allow it, just because you've done such an egregious amount of damage on this turn. If you want to roll a skill as your free action to intimidate, I'll let you do that.
The fact that he could sense all of his minions just poof
Ah.
in like a round.
Let's see. What do you use to defend? Charisma, or is it will? Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wisdom save.
Mhm.
Nah, he didn't make it. He is not doing well. What do you
Just
what do you do to
sword.
intimidate him?
Sword to his face. Just,
What?
just going, yield, necromancer.
Fuck.
Ah. We'll see what happens on his turn. Piffles, you are up.
What is this thing right? Is this a zombie that's right close to me?
Yeah, that's a
That way.
zombie. That's right there.
Okay.
A very
I'm like,
hurt
I know
zombie
It's a very haggard zombie.
Yeah, it's
that you
not
were
in good
currently
shape.
flanking.
Cut off
Yeah.
its feet.
I don't have anything to cut off its feet with. I only have daggers, so I can stab him in his fucking ankles, though.
Ankle biter.
Reaches out from
Yep.
underneath the carpet and stabs the freaking
Yep.
leg.
I am meleeing its legs.
You're gonna go after him with stabs.
I am.
Roll to
And
attack.
roll with advantage. Not that it matters.
Christ. Roll damage.
Wait. She still has that advantage. She might get a crit.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll the attack again, because you
Just to see
technically
if
had
you-
advantage. So see if you get a crit.
Oh. So
'Cause I'm
sorry, rolling
flanking
with
him.
advantage?
Because I'm flanking him.
Yeah, because he's currently flanked.
Oh, chip
Yeah.
it. Okay, yeah. Hang on. Go, here we go.
No crit.
No crit. Oh well. Do we
No
take the
crit.
damage from?
Still takes 6 piercing, which, so you, reaching out from underneath the chairs and stuff, slash at its legs, you manage to cut what was an Achilles tendon that was under really an undue amount of stress, which caused this thing to buckle over to one side unexpectedly and split its head open on the ground, killing it.
It did.
Piffles
Yeah,
did
you-
good.
Ankle stabby gobbo.
I'm so glad we finally get to fight evil undead.
Oh, wait. Sorry. I did forget something. Zombies have a fun little thing called Undead Fortitude. If damage reduces zombies to 0 hit points, it makes a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken. Unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit. On a success, it drops to 1 hit point instead.
Fuck.
So it took 6 damage from you. So it has a DC of 11. It has to make with a con save. Fuck.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
One hit point it is.
It is indeed at 1 HP. So you slice it and it falls, but it's not dead. It is at 1 HP.
It's a crawler now.
Is that your turn?
I can only attack once. I'm gonna move back here and come out from underneath the covers.
That does provoke an attack of opportunity if you move away from it.
Oh, fuck.
Does it
Really?
still get that
God
attack
damn
if it's
it.
prone?
Yeah, because it's laying down.
Is it actually prone?
It's down to 1 hit die, and we knocked it over. Like, I stabbed it in the ankle.
For flavor
How is it
text, I was
standing?
like, you knocked it over.
Yeah.
But
That-
if you're slashing at its feet, you did damage. It unfortunately didn't die. Because of Undead Fortitude, I did forget about that until literally just now.
Fuck, okay.
Yeah.
So, then... Because I can't attack it again. Like,
I mean, you
and
can you can do 2-weapon fighting, but that would
I
like
can
a
do what,
dagger
sir?
in each dagger
Well,
in
no,
each
we-
hand.
We already like established that that wasn't a thing I could do, didn't we? Like way back when.
Oh, so two
Like
weapon
last
fighting
time I
throw
tried to do
anymore?
this. Was that only just? Was that
that
just
was-
throwing?
Yeah, it's just like anyone. It's built in the system. You can just wield 2 weapons. And I don't know what the penalties are though.
Okay,
Okay.
so the way that it, okay, 2-weapon fighting. When you take an attack action and attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon that you are holding in the other hand. You don't add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack unless that modifier is a negative. If either weapon has the thrown property, you can throw the weapon instead of making a melee attack with it.
So yeah, she
So
can
I
make another attack roll.
can't make another attack with a dagger then.
You can use your
Yeah,
bonus action if you have a dagger in your other hand to
Okay.
like make another little slash at him.
Okay,
You
I'll
just
do
don't
that.
you just don't add your ability or modifier, which
Yeah.
So subtract your dexterity from that.
Even -3 and
18,
-3
21?
proficiency, you're still
Yeah.
rolled a 20.
Okay.
So it was an 18 + 3, so it's still damage. That's 4 piercing. So now he's got a 15 DC Constitution to make. He makes it again.
God damn it!
So
This
yeah, you slash with both your daggers, and you're cutting through rotting zombie flesh. He's still standing.
We rolled 19 both times.
Yeah, Undead Fortitude's
then,
pretty fucking
fuck.
bananas. Talrind, you're up.
Give this a thing it's DC it can't save from.
Fuck, man.
The
Yeah, it
first
hits.
arrow going at the one in front of Piffle's snack and
It is
Okay.
flanked. You get advantage
does
It's
that
really,
work?
really
with weapons?
for ranged attacks. I think if they're flanked, it's still advantage if it's ranged attacks.
Because it's distracted. That's,
Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
it's still having to defend against being attacked from 2
Three
sides.
people.
Okay, so 27
Um,
hits.
Remember that ranged attackers cannot make flank attacks.
Okay, so
they can't give flanking, but I think they can take advantage of flanking.
No, can't make flank attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you absolutely hit it. Roll for
Okay.
damage.
doesn't matter either way. I hit it.
Yeah.
It
Pretty
absolutely hits. That's 9. Do you have any other damage that you do in addition?
I forgot Hunter's Mark again, so no.
All right. So now it needs to make a DC 19. Oh no, sorry. It's
DC
5.
14.
So it's 14. DC 14.
God damn it!
Tie goes to the defender.
I hate this
Fucker!
game so much.
Yeah, zombies suck, dude. Like,
No fucking doubt. God damn it.
It's just funny at this point.
yeah, it's just like
The undead that never actually dies, even though I've taken out both its goddamn ankles.
I
That's
shoot
why
the-
undead are scary, though.
I shoot the other one in front of Drakier, though.
Okay.
With my second shot.
Maybe this one will be lucky. This one will be less lucky.
Roll to hit. Or was your second roll that 27 for him?
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, wait.
They got shit AC anyways. I'll just blow past it. Roll some damage.
Their AC is like 13 or something.
Their AC is 8.
Their AC is 8?
Yes, they're zombies. Hitting them is not the problem. Killing them is the problem.
Doc, you got a posture check and a hydrate.
Oh, thanks. I'll take a sip.
Okay, so that's a 16 DC.
Thank you.
Not
There you
die.
go. You
No.
got
5 plus 12, it's 17.
17.
Yeah, 17 DC to get fucking wrecked, son. Let's
If
see.
this thing rolls a 19 again, I'm gonna bitch slap it next round.
You gotta be fucking kidding me!
Damn it, Andy.
What the fuck, dude?
It in the face.
Oh god, I'm like lightheaded, I just laughed.
Stop,
so
stop
hard.
rolling with advantage for this. You're burning out all the bad dice on the
God
second
damn it!
rolls.
Oh,
Every time, Doc, every time you've rolled, like the first one, it would have died if it got that 9 for its second roll.
Assuming that's how it works, sure. So both of these zombies are at 1 HP and are still alive.
just hanging the fuck on.
All right. Is that your turn though?
Yes.
All right. On the necromancer's turn, let's see. Let's see.
Currently busy cacking his pants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not a fucking idiot. So the necromancer that's in the room with Alloy, who is looking like fucking 5 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag. Like he's not looking good.
No.
Turns like and putting both of his hands up makes a gesture. There is sort of a short wave of dark energy comes through that emanates out of the room, and you see both of the zombies that are standing out here collapse to the floor lifelessly.
Uh-oh.
The necromancer, looking at Alloy, says, "In exchange for my life, I will stand down. I will parley with you."
Shit.
What is your reaction in that moment, Alloy?
He's probably still going to continue to hold his sword up at the necromancer, and just responds with "good" and call out to the others.
He keeps his hands up, like he keeps his hands up in the air in a defensive thing. If you want, in moments like these, you can
A wise
roll
decision.
a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not perception. It's
Insight?
what was that? Sorry.
Insight.
Insight, that's it. Yes, you can roll an insight to, like, insight rolls can be used for a number of things. One of the first and easiest is to try to determine a person's actions, whether or not they're telling the truth in whatever it is they're doing. Some of the other things that you can do is you can roll insight against a person who is just standing there, and you can sort of like Sherlock Holmes a few details about that person depending on what your role is.
Alloy is just channeling Sherlock Holmes energy.
Yeah, you're pretty sure with a 6? Like,
Yeah.
you think you got him pretty much dead to rights. In this moment, then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say combat is now over. And you guys are free to act outside of the action economy that we have here.
We should actually probably call this for now. Just like,
It's 3:07. Around 3 hours and 7 minutes.
I'm
Okay.
going to let you guys get in the room and position yourselves.
Okay.
What do you guys do with regards to where you are? Do you guys
Shimmy
move
out
into the
some
room?
punch
Do
and
you
hit
stay
the table.
watch outside?
If the bodies are on the ground, Talron just says everyone grab one and drag it into the room.
Well, the skeletons were turned to dust.
Yeah, some of the skeletons were like obliterated.
We grab the obvious bodies and drag them into the room and say, "Hey, Drakiar, can you prestidigitate all of that mess away?"
Get sweeping.
That strong, so I don't know if I can drag a whole zombie by myself.
Okay, yeah, I prestidigitate, take the dust away.
And the mess from dragging the
corpses.
rotting
Where do you move the bodies?
The oozing.
Into the room.
Is there a specific spot in the room you move them, or just like inside the doors? Over there? Okay,
Yeah,
so I'll put like those guys there. The other three that are there, I'll just remove. Drakir, as it's just a fun cantrip, you turning to the rest of the room, cast prestidigitation, and the gore and mess and blood and like dew dust that's sort of all over the place. You clean up off the floor after everybody's made their best attempt to sweep them up and drag the other corpses and pile them in the corner. As you are doing that, the necromancer sort of like lowers his brow at you and is like, "We have rooms for that." He shrugs. They're just like, didn't say anything.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of amusing. Since it says no larger than 1 cubic foot, I kind of imagine Drakiar doing the finger guns across the floor.
The dude dust, the mess you forgot on your belly. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're the kind of guy that has a gut, the event horizon of your belly is usually where you collect a lot of food and dust.
Gross.
Also known as dude dust.
Well, that was something I surprisingly didn't know and could have gone the rest of my life without knowing.
It would have cost you nothing to keep that shit to yourself.
Friend.
Hey, Doc.
There is a solution to this. They're called napkins.
You said we could use insight to see if we could glean like
Bits of
additional
information
things
from people. That's correct.
Can I make an insight check against this necromancer before we call things?
Yeah, go for it. 18. So, I mean, you're able to pick up a lot of details with an 18. Nothing necessarily egregious like what his favorite food is. But looking at him, you can tell a number of things. Firstly, he has absolutely surrendered to your group. Secondly, as he's looking over your group when you're bringing in the corpses and piling them in the corner there and cleaning up the mess that's outside, he looks across your group with like a mixture of confusion, but upon seeing Talron specifically, his confusion almost turns to reverence before a mild disgust. You can see, obviously, as well as you remember, the zombies and the skeletons that you were just fighting were indeed lightless. For those of you that don't know at home, there are two forms of undead. There are undead beings that have consciousness and free will. Like Talrand, that is particularly characterized by a glowing light present within their eyes. The other forms of undead, where a spirit is mournfully trapped within its body, forced in agony to follow through with the actions that its master requests, do not possess a light in their eye sockets and are commonly referred to, at least by those who live in the kingdom of Autometh, as lightless. This is considered to be an egregious punishment passed out on somebody. It is servitude to the highest degree. So seeing you guys, obviously looking over his robes and a mixture of blood and other stabs that he's got received from Quad in the moments just previous.
Where I thought EXE was initiated.
With his hands, looking over his garb, you do see that obviously, like, yeah, he's a necromancer. Like he's wearing the black robes. He's doing a lot of the stuff that you remember certain individuals from the king's castle dressing similarly, but not like this. Like, it's a parody almost of the clothing and the style and the dress that you are normally used to seeing from these sorts of individuals. So this person is definitely a necromancer, but they were keeping lightless. a number of them in his immediate vicinity.
Gross.
I want to turn to Talrand and say that this guy is racist against undead with souls.
Drakir, what are you trying to find out with a 22 in history?
Based on his garb, is there any kind of symbols or anything that would say any kind of order he could belong to that I may have read about?
What you do see around his neck is a medallion that is in obsidian, not unlike Sneck's medallion. However, in Sneck's medallion, there are gems set within the eye sockets. In his, there are none.
Can I yank his medallion off? Or make an attempt to?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, he's submitted, so he's fine.
Oh, goody. We have the light side and the dark side of the Force, except necromancy.
I'm smashing his amulet.
Yeah, fuck. So you reach up, grab his amulet, and fucking smash it against the marble floor.
I call him a heretic.
He looks at you like, no, because that was his shit. But like, he's not gonna do anything about it because it's like him with his barely any life left against 6 assholes that just kicked his teeth in. So
there is presently a greatsword at his throat.
Yeah,
there goes your spell focus, bitch.
He's not stupid. You also, through your insight looking him over, can tell that while he is a wizard, he's practiced in necromancy as an academic. He obviously follows some sort of worship because he was praying at an altar seconds ago.
I still call him a heretic.
Go for it. Yeah, well, as you say that, he sort of purses his upper lip to you, and he says, in the coming days, we will see who is heresy. And with that, I will call game.
Yeah.
These people are going to hate Snack, because that's going to be his reaction to every one of these guys.
He just like kicking the door to every one of these buildings, just like, heresy! Just like killing people.
You've taken a religious zealot and surrounded him by people who mimic his god's powers.
Yeah,
and
not
even mimic, but like
literally are like
parody.
dipping your fingers into the cookie jar.
Oh, what's the right word here? It's a
pale
foul
shadow
of her?
Yeah, a pale shadow.
It is a mockery of your beliefs and the art that you wield.
Yeah, this whole place, Snick's going to react this way to this whole freaking place.
The fact that he's using the same amulet just without the gems as
made it worse.
Lightless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I just imagined, random journey talk, Snack going over to Tyler, and so do you remember it? Remember what? When the king made you. Bits and pieces. Tell me everything.
You must tell me of this. All of this.
The only reason Snack didn't smite the guy, even after he gave himself up, is because he understands he might be useful.
But yeah, the thing I was saying is just like the missing gemstones in his amulet tells me this might be a splinter group from Autometh.
No, it's the King of the Dead. The whole
We'll find out next time.
But we'll find out next time.
The Kingdom of Aura.
On our next wonderful episode. Now, as a great fun reveal at the end of this thing, I'm not going to be naming names for anybody at home, but we do have the A-Team potentially coming back for next week's D&D game. Spooty, yes, it's you. Spooty is one of the people that we are going to be bringing in to try out for our A-Team. Like, we're going to be having a couple of games that are going to be for their team taking place, once again, within Autometh. So I'm going to be running them on some quests, some stuff that takes place at home, so it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to run it with you guys. I'm so stoked to do this. And it basically happened because Spoots came forward and was like, I'm hankering for some D&D. You wouldn't happen to know anyone that's running some D&D, would you? And I was like, all right, you know what? Let's try it out. Like, cause like we had some people that tried out for the A team and they weren't really having it. Yeah, y'all got some dund.
I swear, it's like Doc is here behind the scenes. Doc is telling us, be on the hush hush.
Yeah, I
And
was
this
like,
movie's just like shouting into the streets.
Like,
Yep.
It's me. I'm naming names. It's me. I'm gonna be playing some D&D. Yeah. So Spoots is gonna be coming in. We've got some other people that were coming along. Cassie is also hopefully gonna be coming back. They have confirmed that they're available, but I don't wanna be holding my breath too much. So we've got 3 people confirmed so far for that team. I'm gonna see if I can't reach out and tap maybe 1 or 2 more people. Tops, I want to go like 4 or 5. I don't want to go as many people as this team because personally I feel like we have too many people on this team. But I don't want to take anybody off this team, though, because I really enjoy the dynamic that a lot of your characters have. And it's like a really cute family that you guys all have going along here. And I feel really fucking bummed out that Caleb didn't have a working mic today. Because I love hearing all of you jibber-jab about stuff. Yeah, Merc, maybe. We'll see. Because it depends on a lot of factors, like their availability, whether or not they have a working microphone, whether or not they can be, like, have quiet in the background, whether or not they can play well with others and be entertaining and fun and put on a good show and tell a good story collaboratively with everyone else, which is what D&D is supposed to be.
Weren't you waiting on Sasself to be available again because you kind of needed her?
Sasself has, at this point, due to their schedule, stepped back. I am keeping Sasself on as an auxiliary, very much like I do with Artie and Steve. So if she does become available again in the near future, absolutely I would love to have her back at the table. Because it was super fun having her here. She played really well with everybody else that was going on, so it was a good time. Love to have her back. But at this moment, she her work and stuff like that is just making it very difficult for her to be available. But yeah, so hopefully we can get some more people back on the A team. It's gonna be a good time, and we can get another adventure going in this universe, because I really liked the idea of running 2 adventures in the same universe, especially 2 adventures specifically in the same faction, so that one group does some stuff. See also the Brown Alert mushrooms, and it affects the other group sometimes. See also that time the Fey Dragon familiar ate the Brown Alert mushrooms and fucking died.
But hopefully less like that interaction.
Less like that, but stuff like that.
Well, also the Northern Forest, we went in there, discovered there was an Underlord there, came back later. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. That the influence of a particular Underlord in the forest that separates the monstrous wastes from the rest of the Empire of Light was tainted with a sort of abyssal corruption, which was removed by the A-team. So, things that one team does can affect the other team, either on a specific level, Brown Alert mushrooms, or on a very macro level, the forest corruption.
Or that giant troll we ran into.
Oh yeah, Ogron.
I mean, basically, the B team has been running into all of the results of the A team on the macro level, but the A team has just gotten the specifics from the B team with the Brown Alert.
Yeah. It's... Oh, man, I miss Ogron. That guy was funny. Everybody trying to talk to him, and he doesn't do words so good. Anyways, before we wrap up for the evening, though, I did just want to remind people that we do have a vote going on in our announcements section over on our Discord, talking about the milestones that we've got for November of 2020. The top, of course, we've got a dramatic reading stream where, among other things, I will dramatically read some fan fiction written by Big Mike from D20 Live. I will also read things like the lyrics to WAP and the lusty Argonian maid in my Scottish accent. I still owe that for you guys, so I'll roll it into the same stream. But we'll dramatically read a bunch of wacky stuff. At 1.5K, we've got the prop hunt stream that will help us raise money for, keeping the equipment up to tune. And then, of course, for the 2K thing, we've got a bunch of upgrades for our system. And then you guys are actually voting on what you would like to see at that milestone. We might move it around depending on what people's interests are. Of course, all donations go towards us here at Evil Incorporated, keeping the company running, keeping us doing fun streams like this, affording huge fucking maps like this. My God, this place is a lot bigger than I imagined. there's so much I can give you guys. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I'm so stoked. But yeah, all support goes to supporting us here at Evil Inc. It feeds us and keeps the lights on and keep us doing the things that we love and putting on wonderful shows for all of you. But until then, though, until tomorrow on our next live stream, my wonderful and brave citizens, I have been your kind and benevolent DM, hopefully, this evening, Game Master Terawatt. We are joined, of course, by our 6 wonderful players that we've got here. Top of the list, we've got Esteban playing Talrand, our skeleton archer.
Every time I try to go to a place and do a thing, it ends in murder.
Go to wonderful places, murder new and exciting people. And of course, up next, we've got Raynor playing Drakier, our draconian sorcerer.
Every time I go to a place and try to do a new thing, it ends in barbecue.
We've got Keldaka Gray playing Sneck, our kobold cleric.
Sneck has found an entire building of heretics. Is it Sneck's birthday?
Of course, we've got Quad playing Alloy, our warforged warrior.
Hello, I am your friendly Warforged Alloy. Who would you like killed or maimed today?
You fucked that guy up. You fucked him up. Good.
What kind of bark would you like?
And of course, we've got
I'm
Palanthir.
surprised he survived that as a wizard.
Oh, yeah, well, but he's a fucking necromancer. Like, his CR is pretty high. Just, Quad got, like, a flurry of bullshit on him in one turn. And of course, we've got Palanthir playing Caleb, our Air Genasi rogue. Hopefully next time I'll not be public toiling city. And last, of course, certainly not least, we have Envisaurus Rex playing Piffles, our goblin bard.
Stand by. Aim.
What was that?
And then I said, I took that bitch to the ankles, and then he got back up again.
Stab that bitch in the ankles. Bitches love stabbed in the ankles.
Also, if you haven't found them yet, I put more green tiles.
God damn it. Every time you do that, I have to erase all the things that I'm also drawing on the map, so stop it.
Well,
I get the
leaving
feeling
you.
now that I revealed that Piff can completely do a double stabby action.
Yeah.
This is
that's
going
gonna
to
happen
become
a lot
common.
more.
Like, there's a lot of discussion around it, but mainly, just before we close up, mainly the reason why, it's like, if everyone can do it, you get another attack, why wouldn't everybody just grab 2 swords and go to town? Well, 2-weapon fighting is amazingly easy to do in 5th edition, but doing so means choosing an extra attack above a bunch of other options. Generally, attacking with 2 light weapons has about-ish slightly better damage output than smacking with 1 heavy weapon, and because it's between 2 attacks, you have better odds of hitting at least once. But once you get to level 5 or so and gain an extra attack, 2 swings with something big hits a lot harder than 3 stabs with something small. They're generalizing there, but the strategy is with 2-weapon combat is more weaker attacks instead of fewer stronger attacks. You also don't get the option to carry a shield, which
But I also
no
have
one's doing
just
anyway, so it's
daggers
whatever.
and rapiers, so it's like
Hey, I have a shield.
Yeah,
I might
that's
as well
true.
use
You
my
do.
hat. I don't though.
And bonus actions matter. For some classes, your bonus action is vital resource that you can't reliably use for that extra swing. A surprisingly large number of abilities use your bonus actions, like Barbarian Rage, Flurry of Blows, and countless archetype abilities need your bonus action in order to function. Keeping that in mind when figuring out your build.
Such as also like MP's inspiration.
Yeah, it's all
like
bonus action shit. So
she can only really do that on a turn she's not inspiring someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only Piffles can only attack That's
so it's like
my bonus action can either be used for Bardic Inspiration, or I might as well just use a second dagger.
Yeah, you may as well do it just that way. and
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Because like all I have are daggers and rapiers, so it's like I might as well.
Yeah, if
You
using
got
light
nothing better to do
weapons,
that turn.
then, yeah,
about
if you
to
have
say-
nothing better, then you can use it. If not, then go for it.
Because
It-
like
it
it's that a lot of my attacks are loud, so if we have to be stealthy, it's like
Yeah, and I mean, multi attacks gets better if you
Okay,
have
our
things that
goal.
proc effects.
yeah.
Hydrate. Oh, and we're gonna get Vicky. Okay, cool.
I was going to say I was going
We
to
could
put
write
a
Vicky.
one for the optimal duo, but it seems
was
like
go-
they
I
just
was going-
ended.
They did just wrap up, but they were apparently asking what our status is currently towards getting to our goal. So we'll see. We'll see what's up.
mean-
Either way, thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Thank you for all your views, your donations, your bits and subscriptions, all of your support here at Evilink, and we will see you all tomorrow on our next live stream. End of line.